And we're unfortunately back with some breaking news, but it's wild. I mean, it's wild. I literally can't end a stream. I think we're just gonna be live. We're just gonna be streaming. I couldn't even focus on video games. I tried. We were over there gaming for the last few hours, but I literally can't. I told everyone over there that we're coming back because of the news that is just coming in of the attack on free speech that's been happening all week. And I did a special stream on it a couple days ago that literally has the right wing, or no, the right wing has become the woke mob. And I lost a lot of subscribers for that one. I'm hemorrhaging subscribers, to be honest, because I told them straight up, like, I'm not with any of that. And if that movement is about what we've been seeing for the past week, then why would I want them around? Just screenshotting comments and sending them to influencers and then have their base like call them and harass them and then get them fired and then have it blessed off from the president of the United States and the government. This is the real cancel culture here. Not when you had random Twitter users that had these social media platforms give punishments for being blatantly racist and shit on social media back in like the 2010s. And I was on the opposite side of that back then. I told you guys I voted for Trump in 2016. I was with all that about cancel culture and how, oh, this is dangerous, this is a slippery slope, this is probably bad. I was with that part of it. So it's wild how I get to honestly be the same thing. I get to say the same shit I did 10 years ago now about cancel culture and snowflakes and all that, all the shit I used to call people on the left back in those days. Oh boy, is it like times 10, more and more right now. Like we're what we're seeing right now, because it's coming directly from the government. You had the FCC commissioner go on Benny Johnson today, which, by the way, is a Russian-paid fucking stooge. Benny Johnson is literally a Russian-paid asset, so that's great. But you had the FCC chairman go on Benny Johnson's this shit today and literally threatening immediate action against Jimmy Kimmel. And then here we got, like an hour ago, ABC pulls Jimmy. Like, this is direct government censorship. That's what this is. This isn't Twitter users and social media users getting the community guidelines of a social media platform to put restrictions on a user for being racist, actually. But even then, I told you, I was on the side of the conservatives back then that, hey, free speech is free speech. And then the left would go, oh, it's about accountability and shit or whatever the fuck. And now you got MAGA saying it. But like worse, and it is worse on every level because it's coming from the government. This is the government, not fucking social media users. So it's like, not, I can't even compare it. The energy is probably there, but beyond that, this is coming directly from the government. And then right off the backs of being on this PlayStation 2 character looking Russian paid ass motherfucker here. And he is paid. He's on Tenet Media payroll coming directly from Russia. And by the way, I'm just going to say, after covering the invasion of Ukraine for the past 3 years and having to watch Russian state media, and we have, Chad will tell you, my longtime chatters, we literally watched Russian media to the brain, right to the vein from their mouth, and we had to watch the subtitles so it was translated. And it's the exact same thing as all MAGA media. It is literally just MAGA media is just Russian state media in English. The exact same thing, same strategies, all of that. And literally to have this Russian paid fuck have the FCC chairman on his board on his show today, and then it results in directly of Jimmy Kimmel being canceled. There is something greater at play too. Well beyond. A lot of you guys are about the Epstein files. I'm telling you, Russia is absolutely a factor too. Okay? And they control MAGA. They're up Trump's asshole. All right? It's all probably connected to that. But I'm telling you right now, there's a lot going on there. But with things that are deeper. But it's the direct attacks on the free speech that a lot of people are obviously going to be focusing on. But I also want you to pay attention to that too. This is a Russian paid actor that had the FCC chairman on today that resulted in the direct cancellation of Jimmy Kimmel. Okay? All right? I just want you to just remember that going forward. Okay. ABC pulls Jimmy Kimmel off air for Charlie Kirk comments. Mr. Kimmel faced criticism from the chairman of the Federal Communications Commission for remarks, which we might as well watch it. Might as well watch it now after this. For the motives of the man who was accused of killing Mr. Kirk, the conservative activist. And then we got to watch Jimmy Kimmel's whole episode now. ABC announced on Wednesday that it was pulling Jimmy Kimmel's late night show indefinitely. And I had to update the story for my Facebook viewers over there. And I don't know if I posted on YouTube or not. I think I did. But I had to post because at first it was just the affiliates took him down. And then like literally 20 minutes later, ABC themselves came out and said, because it was like a little weird, like was it ABC and Disney directly? And then it was like the Nexstar, which is the that controls the affiliates, but then ABC itself has came out right after that. So I did make an additional post if you guys want to go check that out. And I also updated it in the comment section so that way it's updated. But yeah, so that's ABC directly announced Wednesday that it was pulling Jimmy Kimmel's late night show indefinitely after criticism of comments he made on his Monday program about the motives of a man who is accused of fatally shooting the conservative activist Charlie Kirk last week. The abrupt decision by the network, which is owned by the Walt Disney Company, and I'm just gonna say this: they're really gonna learn about like this is the woke. This is actual woke shit. All of the weird ass conservative thing that they thought was woke. Oh boy. So the people that literally shit on Disney and canceled it for the past 15 years, and Disney didn't give a fuck and like was still cooking and still has been, now is gonna lose all the people that stuck with them, and then they're gonna have nothing. Elon told them to go fuck themselves. Now all the people that have been with Disney and rode with them for the past 15 years, so those dog shit fucking Star Wars movies and all of their bullshit becoming basically like EA. Like basically like Electronic Arts for movies. That's Disney now. Freaking dog shit. But anyways, people stuck with it because they stand for they stand for rights of people. No, fuck no, they don't. Hell no, they don't. Not if they get pressured by the government. Clearly. So all the people that have been riding with them are now done. I've been seeing it. I saw it in my chat. And if I can see like at least 15 people in my chat, I know it's more than that. It's like exponentially higher. People are like already canceling their Disney Plus and everything right now. Disney is so fucked. I'm telling you that now because they're gonna pull conservatives back. How are you gonna do that? Once they're done, they're out. They've been out. Are you really gonna do that? They're done with that one. They're like Disney goodbye. And if this is wild, they're gonna really learn about who is really with the culture and who's just really loud. I really think that that's what we're gonna learn in the coming days as long as this continues. This is like Night of the Throne catch-up, guys. That's what I'm going to deem this night in America. Here you go on Mercado Media. Catch-up not tonight on September 17th, 2025. Because also the president announced tonight that Antifa is, I'm doing two stories at once, but just bear with me. But the president announced tonight that Antifa is a terrorist organization. So you have that going as well. I am pleased to inform many USA patriots that I am designating Antifa, a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster, as a major terrorist organization. I will also be strongly recommending that those funding Antifa be thoroughly investigated in accordance with the highest legal standards and practices. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So basically everything that is in Project 2025 is happening. It was all written. It's there. We tried. Hey, we tried on my channel and other many others. Millions. 75 million people. They knew what's up. They knew what the stakes were in America in 2024. Shout out to 75 million. We tried. Oh boy, do we try. I know. Could have been better though. I know definitely could have been better. But like, I mean, people's heart was in it. But all of this is in that. And we're living through it now. And it's just like cope. It's just a layer of cope preventing you from like seeing it and like for what it is. So this is what we're doing. It's not there yet for everybody, but all it got to take is say you go to a protest or some shit, they label you Antifa, and then now you're a terrorist. It's like this is modern day McCarthyism, which we already watched a video on that last week, and we watched it in the past. But basically, if they just deem you whatever, they deem you a radical whatever the fuck, and then that's the government gets the okay to take you away. They suppress your speech. I've already saw what that can look like in 2020 when you got unmarked vans pull up on people and grab them, and then they're gone. Who knows where they went? That was crazy. Couldn't believe I saw that. And like literally, I'm sitting there. It was on stream. It got big art and big news articles were written, but I'm sitting there streaming, and like I was like, oh, look at the Justice Center or whatever, and then a van pulls up, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then these dudes pop out, like Delta Force pops out of this van, and they grab like 3-4 people and throw them in there, and like don't even say shit, don't even say nothing, and then pull the door closed, and they drove away. I was like, what the fuck was that? That was crazy. That was literally like that was Black Mirror for real, but like that was wild. I couldn't believe that happened. But the news reported on it too. So we have, a major problem. This is a major issue. I mean, it's been all week. I've streamed on it. We're probably just going to be streaming about this for the rest of the week, just showing you guys. And if I get, hey, like if I'm not going anywhere. I'm standing on business, 10 toes down. I'm not hiding. I'm not running personally. I'm small, but I still they'd come for me too. I have a big enough platform. I had enough MAGA following me that they'll come after me. It's like they're like using the government. It's not even cringe to say, because that's some type shit Trump would say. But like they literally for the past week have been targeting teachers, doctors, regular ass social I'm not saying you're not important, everybody's important, but you're not trying to be an influencer out here. Not just regular ass people that aren't trying to be influencers, that are just using their social media, sharing how they feel about things. Okay. And they're targeting you too. They're targeting those people, not even just up and up. So I mean, if it comes down to it, put the cuffs on me, I guess. Because I'm not changing, what I feel. I served this country for 10 years honorably. I got 2 honorable discharges from active duty and also the Army Reserves. So, I mean, if that's really what we're going to do, then that's what we're going to do. And I think a lot of it's just this is where we're going with it. And it's going to turn into anyone that dissents against the administration. I'm so trying not to fearmonger, because there are going to be a lot of people, and you're not going to be alone. All right, that's the other thing, that you're not going to be alone in this. Okay, if I already had people in my comments. One person already went viral on my Facebook page. Like they had Scott Presler, share them out, and they follow me, and they're just some person, not even anybody important, but they're doing this all day long, and just having their base, their MAGA followers, send them screenshots. So many people are leaving the Democrat Party. They're doing everything now. They're hitting all of it. The I left the left thing, and it's people that were never left, which was a Russian operation, by the way. What was it called? Oh, the walkaway movement. It was just a bunch of conservatives that and they had some liberals in there that were a part of that for sure, definitely, but most of it was a Russian operation. Republicans let me pull this up here. So leave. The countries where comedians can't mock the leader on late night TV are not the really ones you want to live in. So leave. Damn. There's Steven Crowder. Should we go through all of the right-wing media takes? Because it is going to be worse than you've ever seen. They're going after everyone, guys. I'm trying not to scare you, but this was pre-written, foretold, and I mean, we're in it. We're just in it now. So I mean, I really don't know what happens next, to be honest, other than more crackdowns on anything against the administration. That's going to happen. Oh, they're already using the military. That was in Project 2025.
Stephen Colbert is gone. Jimmy Kimmel is gone now. You need to see what is happening right now. It is the systematic destruction of free speech in this country. It is Donald Trump using the power of the White House, in this case, the power of his regulatory agency.
Doesn't the TV network have the right to fire whoever they want for whatever they want? They could fire Home for being ugly and smelling bad. Free speech isn't the issue here. They didn't like what he said, that's all. Wow, are you a leftist? Wow, what a fucking snowflake. Holy shit. And you have green hair? What are you, a green-haired fucking snowflake? Pussy ass. What the fuck does that mean? Wow. Wow, have the tables turned. Holy shit. The issue is it came directly from the government. The network didn't make the decision on their own. They're gonna face the music for it. They're gonna. That's what I'm saying. They're gonna learn what get woke, go broke actually means. Like, it's not even gonna be funny for Disney and the people that get canceled from shit. That it's gonna suck for them. But overall, like, this is gonna be bad for the people doing this. You guys, I don't know. Okay, here, I got a moment of hope for you. How about this? And we're looping. I already told you guys this. Since as long as Donald Trump and MAGA, this cancer, are still a part of our country, we're going to be looping. We're going to be looping, and people are going to be crossing, and like their politics will change, and like we're just going to keep doing that. And we're stuck in like the 20s. We're stuck in a 10-year loop. We're stuck in the 2016 loop still. All right. So now things literally flipped 180, and the hard right, which is our government now. And it's not social media users. It's not just some extremists that are just like loud, but the party isn't paying attention to them like the Democratic Party is like. The Republican Party embraced the extremism that is the Republican Party from the top down. But we flipped now, and they have become the snowflake cancel culture ass motherfuckers, in which I thought that was the left back in the day, because we didn't have anything like some shit like this. I just thought I was a dumbass. I was also 10 years younger. I was 22. And thought that all these social media leftists are so mean, and people can't post racism anymore. And like, that's cancel culture, and that's wrong. And now literally this is coming from the top down. This is coming from the president. President and the government are using force to exert onto these companies. And then the companies are showing exactly what they're about, obviously. At the end of the day, because these corporations can say nice words and do nice slogans and have great looking shit, but they don't give a fuck about that at the end of the day, anyways. It's just a money line, and it keeps them away from their perceived cancellation. That was never the problem. The problem was what they're about to see now. It was with the right wing attacking people for their freedom of speech genuinely. But they're mandating that we mourn Charlie Kirk, brother. Like, you have to. Then they're buying billboards to put in blue cities, and like literally like using Charlie Kirk to attack people, which is like, apparently it was against what Charlie Kirk believed in. I guess he was about free speech. He wasn't, but I guess like according to them he was, and like dialogue, but then they just proved exactly what they were actually about. All they needed was just the mask to come off, and the mask was on. They were always like this. I promise you. I came from it back in the day. They were just waiting for the moment to act actually unhinged, and now we're there. But again, it was all written ahead of time. That's why I wish the Democrats should have done more to really warn about this. And they tried. I get it, but I don't think they tried hard enough, because we are fucked if you're a dissenter against the administration. But like, that's why you can't be scared. You can't show fear. I mean, you could be nervous, you can have anxiety about it, but you really just gotta like understand that there was going to be a lot more people on our side, and the MAGA apparently didn't learn. Remember what happened to all the people they canceled, and what happened? Their little base grew, right? Every single person they canceled, their base grew like a lot, and that's why we have a lot of MAGA ass influencers out here, because they got canceled. What do you think is going to happen to Jimmy Kimmel's popular? He's going to be a global superstar now. You really thought he's like, you didn't learn anything. You did not learn a thing. from your own perceived cancellations of your heroes that are like honestly, these canceled conservatives are the most watched people. They get millions of views. They're millionaires. You're really you're gonna learn. It's gonna swing. The pendulum will swing. That's the only hope I can give you right now. It's gonna be bad getting there. What did Trump say? It's gonna be a little pain. There'll be some pain. There'll be people struggling through the tariffs and the economy eventually here when the inflation starts to increase from the Fed cutting their rate, which we covered today. But that's a whole other thing. But they learn nothing. They learn nothing from their own perceived cancellations because this is the government now. The government against this, and you're gonna probably have. I hope there's gonna be fellow whole democratic countries that like speak about this and like how this is like how Russia acts. This is China. This is North Korea, into which you kill all dissenting voices from the government now. The government. All the right wing they can do and say whatever they want on their platforms. They don't cancel anyone. They used to. What was the last, Bill O'Reilly? And then it was Tucker Carlson because he cost Fox News almost $1 billion for lying. But then guess what? Oh, he went on to have a very successful career still, doesn't he? Because the right wing was like, oh, we still love him. He's so good. Even though it was Fox News that took him down themselves because of the money they lost. But they don't cancel shit over there. They don't get rid of their own. They can say and do whatever they want on the right wing all day long. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, lie, lie. No facts. Feelings only. Never facts. Just feelings. Every day. All day. Breaking news alert. Ding. More feelings. Let's bring on someone to talk about how we feel. Dong. Breaking news alert. Here's some more lies. Here's some more narrative twisting or politicization of tragedies. Ding. I need to get that Fox News sound, and I'm gonna use it for when I read because we're gonna have breaking news stories. It's gonna get nuts here, and every time I see a politicization of it from someone, I'm gonna go dong. The 5G hurricanes Nancy Pelosi sent them personally. Type shit. The Nancy Pelosi could have turned on the faucet, but she didn't. And then right-wing media can do that. They can say shit like that, and it's fine. Or they can call for the death of homeless people, which we just had killings in Minneapolis right after that was said on Fox News. Fox News, Brian Kilmeade said that homeless people should be euthanized. They called for legal euthanization of homeless people. And then he went on Fox News the next day. I sorry. I didn't mean it. And then he's fine. No problem. On the air still infecting Americans with poison of lies of the Fox News. No problems. We are going to be in a very scary reality right now. But I'm trying to give you hope that it's gonna result in the opposite of what MAGA thinks is happening. We just learned it. The issue is are we gonna loop again? Is it gonna how bad is it gonna get in 10 years from now? Because the pendulum will swing back, but are they gonna double down? Will they learn their lesson from what's gonna happen from this? Probably not. Bet you they triple down. That's where it actually get dark. It's getting the shade's coming. We're in the darkness. We can't see really that well. The light's there still. It's still there. Light's still there. It's just really dark. But we won't get into the super dark until we see the effects of what they think is their cancel culture, which we already learned what happens. Jimmy Kimmel will get more followers now. If he goes on YouTube and starts doing YouTube shows, he's going to break records. He's going to break view counts on whatever he does now. Because he's now a cancel culture martyr. And you guys literally didn't learn. And I'm speaking because I know MAGA's listening right now because they're probably like, oh no, do we go too far? Not really though. You like this shit for real. Y'all like this shit. You guys are like, haha, suck it, Kimmel. We wanted you for so long. You made us so mad for so long with your words. Jimmy Kimmel. Look at the man show, Jimmy Kimmel. Holy fuck, dude. Jimmy Kimmel didn't like Trump, so I'm happy that he is taken off the air. That's what it became. That's why I started falling off of that shit. You couldn't say anything against Trump. And that was back in his first term. You were like canceled from the right wing shit. You weren't canceled like from big things. Can't say anything against Trump. Actually, like if you're a Republican, that's why Republicans are shook. And they know damn well if they're in a Republican red community, they can't say shit. They got to play the game. They got to play the game, chat. And that's like, ha ha ha. Like they have super MAGA family and friends and cousins and shit. And like they just kind of got to just go along with it. I'm not excusing that behavior because that's still like being, you know, but it is what it is. Got to survive. You don't want to, because your family will throw you out. And your friends will throw you out if you're right wing and you start challenging Trump and you start challenging MAGA. Promise you that will happen. And it's whether or not you can accept that or not. A lot of people don't want to, understandably, because it's tough. Who wants that to happen? Who wants to? Like, it's just a rough existence, actually. So to save that, they just play the game and just remain like just not say anything around their MAGA shit. But you're at the point where you got to do shit too. I mean, if you're like Republican conservative and you are about free speech, you need to speak. Because it's not going to work. They're going to come after you too, actually, if you start speaking against Trump. So, I mean, if you're actually conservative, you should believe in free speech. And if you're about little government, big government conservatives, this is your time to shine. Because this is the federal government using the power of the federal government to silence people. And all of the MAGA influencers are using their media, which is directly connected to figures in the government, to also find people and silence them and get them removed from their jobs. None of this is good. And if you are actually a conservative, you need to actually speak up or start going to the protests. One of us, one of us, one of us. Come on, I fell off. You can. Come on, I stopped. It's so dumb anyways. God, it sucks. One of us, one of us. You got to start going. Don't be scared. I mean, if you have a family, don't bring your kids unless you want to, unless it's like, you know, that's your choice. But like, you know, start showing up and do what you're going to do. But if you truly believe in free speech and about big government, big brother, and you're afraid of that, the Trump administration and all of its arm of the right-wing media are using it to silence people. Under Trump's America, comedy will be legal again. By the way, this came from Sinclair. Sinclair, the nation's largest ABC affiliate group, objects to recent comments made by Mr. Kimmel concerning the assassination of Charlie Kirk. As discussed with ABC earlier today, Sinclair decided to indefinitely preempt Jimmy Kimmel Live beginning tonight. Following these discussions, ABC suspended the production of Jimmy Kimmel Live. So I was right then. My reporting was fine. I did update it. It is updated to reflect this on Facebook. Mr. Kimmel's remarks were inappropriate and deeply insensitive at a critical moment for our country, said Vice Chairman Jason Smith. We believe broadcasters have a responsibility to educate and elevate respectful, constructive dialogue in our communities. We appreciate FCC Chairman Carr's remarks today, as this incident highlights the critical need for the FCC to take immediate regulatory action to address control over local broadcasters by the big national networks. Sinclair's ABC state, we're going to have state media. It's going to be, it'll be right. It'll just be ready. Fox News. Or not that. I don't know. They'll have they'll have MAGA media, MAGA state media. We're going there. Sinclair will not lift the suspension of Jimmy Kimmel Live on our stations until formal discussions are held with ABC regarding the network's commitment to professionalism and accountability. Sinclair also called upon Kimmel to issue a direct apology to the Kirk family. Furthermore, we asked Mr. Kimmel make a meaningful personal donation to the Kirk family and Turning Point USA. And a little extortion too on top. What are we doing? What year is this? Are we in the Soviet Union? Not only is he done, he has to apologize and then make a donation. And this is coming from the Sinclair Broadcasting Company. This isn't coming from activists. This is coming directly from the ones that run the airwaves of those TV stations. Who fuck watches TV anyways? Anyways, if you watch TV though, this is a bad day for you. All his episodes are on YouTube, but if you watch TV, but still, regardless, I mean, it's still an attack on the free speech, and also extortion is crazy. Regardless of ABC's plans for the future of the program, Sinclair intends not to return Jimmy Kimmel Live to our air until we are confident that appropriate steps have been taken to uphold the standards expected of a national broadcast platform. Are you kidding me? Really? Well, really? We have right-wing media that straight up denies the coup attempt from 2021, which was a coup on the government to try to keep Trump in power physically. That's what that was, and nothing else. Trump didn't win. He lost to Biden. And Trump sent his supporters at the Capitol to try to overturn the election physically, or at least keep it long enough just to see what would happen, just to see what he could get away with sitting in there in his room watching it. See, how is this going to work? And you have media that's on a national broadcast. We had to sit through national broadcasts of Charlie Kirk, who lied on his platform every day. You had the sitting vice president go on Charlie Kirk's platform, who his platform was like, let's abolish the Civil Rights Act. That's what Charlie Kirk would say. We should do that. We would talk about that every week. Let alone his thoughts on women, LGBTQ+, all minorities, anyone that's not Christian. This is wild. This is levels of cancel culture and extortion and political pressure that we have not seen. Is this real? Brendan Carr, the government should the government censor the speech it doesn't like? Of course not. The FCC does not have a roving mandate to police. Wow, look at the change. Same guy, 2019. That's when I was more right leaning, because like, yeah, I agree with that. And then when the right actually takes power, I want to thank Nexstar for doing the right thing. Local broadcasters have an obligation to serve the public interest. Well, this may be an unprecedented decision. It is important for broadcasters to push back on Disney programming that they did. This is coming from the government. This is the government. This isn't random social media users that have like 10 followers. This is the government. I hope, and then also, and the government using Benny Johnson. Nice. Nice, super nice. That's great. Russian actor getting quote tweeted by the FCC chairman. And there it is right there. Nexstar Media Group, ABC affiliates to preempt Jimmy Kimmel Live. Company objects to talk show host's comments on killing of Charlie Kirk. Irving, Texas, Nexstar Media Group Inc. today announced that the company's owned and partner television stations affiliated with ABC Television Network would preempt Jimmy Kimmel Live for the foreseeable future, beginning with tonight's show. Nexstar strongly objects to recent comments made by Mr. Kimmel concerning the killing of Charlie Kirk and will replace the show with other programming in its ABC-affiliated markets. Mr. Kimmel's comments about the death of Mr. Kirk are offensive and insensitive at a critical time in our national political discourse, and we do not believe they reflect the spectrum of opinions, views, or values of the local communities in which we are located, said Andrew Alford, president of Nexstar's broadcasting division. Continuing to give Mr. Kimmel a broadcast platform in the communities we serve is simply not in the public interest at the current time. And we have made the difficult decision to preempt his show in an effort to let cooler heads prevail as we move toward the resumption of respectful, constructive dialogue. Yep. This is Soviet Union. We are heading towards that. A man so beloved they had to make mourning him mandatory. And that's the one. The public interest. Well, Biden, same person. While Biden encouraged social media companies to censor Americans, President Trump is restoring our First Amendment rights. Same guy. Now the EU is pressuring our tech companies to start censoring online content again. It's important to push back on Europe's effort to silence speech. Like, what? Sinclair says Kimmel suspension not enough, calls on FCC and ABC to take additional action. Sinclair's ABC stations to air a special in remembrance of Charlie Kirk during Jimmy Kimmel Live time slot on Friday. Oh my god. Oh man, we're in the dark place for real, for real. Oh my god. Maryland, September 17th, 2025. Sinclair, the nation's largest ABC affiliate group, objects to recent comments made by Mr. Kimmel concerning the assassination of Charlie Kirk. As discussed with ABC earlier today, Sinclair decided to indefinitely preempt Jimmy Kimmel Live beginning tonight. Following these discussions, ABC has suspended production of Jimmy Kimmel Live. ABC stands for, what was it? Always been canceling. I already had that. What is it, chat? What did I say it was on my gaming channel? What did I say it was again? Mr. Kimmel's remarks were inappropriate and deeply insensitive at a critical moment of our country, said Vice Chairman Jason Smith. We believe broadcasters have a responsibility to educate and elevate respectful, constructive dialogue in our communities. Really. Really now. We appreciate FCC Chairman Carr's remarks today, and this incident highlights the critical need for the FCC to take immediate regulatory action to address control held over local broadcasters by the big national networks. Yeah, way to flip that issue and lie. Sinclair's ABC stations will air a special in remembrance of Charlie Kirk this Friday during Jimmy Kimmel Live's time slot. The special will also air across all Sinclair stations this weekend. In addition, Sinclair is offering the special to all ABC affiliates across the country. Sinclair will not lift the suspension of Jimmy Kimmel Live on our stations until formal discussions are held with ABC regarding the network's commitment to professionalism and accountability. Sinclair also calls upon Mr. Kimmel to issue a direct apology to the Kirk family. Furthermore, we ask Mr. Kimmel to make a meaningful personal donation to the Kirk family and Turning Point USA. And the political organization too. Holy fuck, dude. Regardless of ABC's plans for the future of the program, Sinclair intends not to return Jimmy Kimmel Live. If I was Jimmy Kimmel, I'd tell him to go fuck themselves. Destiny was right. Nope. Destiny was right on that Piers Morgan, 100%. Sinclair intends not to return Jimmy Kimmel Live to our air until we are confident that appropriate steps have been taken to uphold the standards expected of a national broadcast platform. Wow. Well, I guess I'm not watching. I'm removing my Disney Plus. I was gonna watch the. I have it still. I just have it, but now I'm like, I'm gonna go through all my subscriptions. What do you know? What is this? Brendan Carr wrote the new textbook definition of jawboning when he said of Kimmel of ABC, "We can do this the easy way or the hard way." And he celebrates his censorship with a lame meme, which in a sane world would be, oh, weird. I wonder who else communicates with memes. I wonder if it's our shooters. I wonder if it's all the mass shooters we've had that communicate through memes, through their killings. Brian Stelter said, I asked FCC Chair Brendan Carr FCC if he had any new comment that now ABC has pulled his show, and he sent me this GIF. Are you supporting censorship, Skull, Minnesota? You're the last guy I'd expect to support a person who admits to having CP on his... He didn't. Doesn't distract from the fact that Destiny was right on Piers Morgan. Way to change the topic. Seven Angels, thank you for being a supporter. Suzanne, Insider. Sav Nation, thank you for the 10 gifted. Cancel Disney for my Merc Media sub. Hell yeah, cancel that and subscribe over here. We're going to be busy. I'm going to need your guys' support big time, actually. Especially if they're canceling anyone that's speaking against Trump. I need your guys' help. Fuck. Turns out MAGA doesn't hate cancel culture. They just wanted to own it. Oh, that's the textbook play. This is me and Brendan Carr right now. Responding. Nice. You cancel Disney, ABC, they will just buy it. They're already controlling it. What do you mean they'll buy it? Yeah, they'll buy it, and who are they going to appeal to? Kennedy explains that pulling Kimmel isn't conservative censorship. Oh my God.
Now, President Trump, he did react to this news on Truth Social, writing in part, quote, great news for America. The ratings challenge, Jimmy Kimmel's show is canceled. Congratulations to ABC for finally having the courage to do what had to be done. Kimmel has zero talent and worse ratings than even Colbert, if that's
typical leftist in grandma's basement. You projection, is it because you have a grandma fetish? Harry Zukowski, chef and man. Yeah, get the fuck out of here. Look at mods are active on Facebook. Facebook trolls are going crazy today, y'all.
It's possible. Now, the left already, starting with Humpty Dumpty, fake news, CNN, J.B. Pritzker, Gavin Newsom, predictably claiming this is conservative censorship. The MAGA crowd, Donald Trump.
No, you're gone. Okay, the left is delusional. Watch this. Goodbye. What else we got? Has Merck talked about Antifa terrorists? Yep, a little bit. We'll get to it. Chris Hayes dropped a good YouTube video explaining it. All right, thank you. We'll watch that. Won't be Jimmy's followers. Please tell them to not apologize or donate. Nice. Going through the comments. Okay, I think we got rid of one of them at least. Thank you, Bettina, for upgrading your membership to Advocate. Some America has a swift decline into fascism going. It's not good. Not good. Yep.
Got Jimmy Kimmel. That is false. I can't find a single prominent conservative voice in the country that even remotely wanted or hoped or was pushing to get Jimmy Kimmel taken off the air.
See how they lie? See how they lie? They lie. And then we're talking about Jimmy Kimmel needs to uphold civic responsibilities as a national broadcaster. Meanwhile, right-wing media. We have never called for the cancellation of Jimmy Kimmel. We don't do that. We don't act like that. They're liars. Thank you, Protest POV, for coming to Insider. You're going to need it. Protests are about to kick off. I'm going to give you guys on-the-ground coverage. When I do my coverage in person, though, I'm not, like, chanting and shit. I'm just filming it, all right? So just keep that in mind. But I'll be out there covering them, interviewing people. It'd just kind of be distracting if I was chanting. You guys couldn't hear anything. Sending you my saved money from canceling your Disney Plus. Let's go. Get Streamio set up with real debris and Torrentino, pirate everything. Google Reddit to set it up. All right. Yeah, we're getting editors and everything now. Mercado Media is about to take off. You have no idea what you just created. That's funny. Sorry, little moment of funny in the middle of this. Trump wanted Kimmel gone because he didn't like getting made fun of. The ABC affiliates on opening with Kimmel's Charlie Kirk statement and pulled the show because they need Trump's okay for a merger. Ooh. Now we're getting to the bottom of it. And also with the use of Russians, too, because Benny Johnson had a big hand in it.
Good evening from New York. I'm Chris Hayes. When Stephen Colbert announced that his late night show was being canceled back in July, the president of the United States, Donald Trump, had a chilling reaction.
Fallon has no talent. Kimmel has no talent. They're next. They're going to be going. I hear they're going to be going. I don't know, but I would imagine because they get, you know, Colbert has better ratings than Kimmel or Fallon. You know that.
They're next. I hear they're going to be going. Well, tonight, an ABC spokesperson confirms that Jimmy Kimmel's late night show has been preempted indefinitely. Now, it comes just hours after a large set of ABC affiliates announced they would refuse to air Kimmel's show. They say because of comments the late night host made on Monday night relating to the motives of the man that shot and killed Charlie Kirk, wrongly suggesting the killer was part of the MAGA movement. He was not. Nexstar, the largest owner of local stations in the country, came out and said it, quote, strongly objects to recent comments made by Kimmel concerning the killing of Charlie Kirk and will replace the show with other programming in its ABC affiliated markets. And if that were the whole story, he said something, it was not correct, the affiliates pushed back, well, then that would be one story. But that, of course, is not the whole story. Okay? Because crucially, just hours before that statement.
Now we watch it ourselves because he's not going to show the whole thing. Now we watch that and we'll go back to Chris Hayes because he's talking about it. So I might as well. Let's go see what he said on Benny Johnson today that led to this.
The conduct that has taken place by Jimmy Kimmel, it appears to be some of the sickest conduct possible.
Really?
As you've indicated, there are avenues here for the FCC. So there are some ways in which I need to be a little bit careful because we could be called ultimately to be a judge on some of these claims that come up. But I don't think this is an isolated incident. I mean, you go back to Representative Swalwell, and he had a tweet out last week where he was saying that, emphasizing that Charlie Kirk's killer was a straight white male from a Republican family that voted for Donald Trump. And
okay.
In some quarters, there's a very concerted effort to try to lie to the American people about the nature, as you indicate, of one of the most significant.
You mean the right-wing media that labeled the left as the shooter? As like this aura of leftism? As like and then you got MAGA then screenshotting random people's posts about Charlie Kirk and their displeasure of him and then making a website that said charliesmurderers.com, which is gone, by the way. Haha, MAGA. All that shit's getting taken down. You guys don't have the computer wizards on your team. I'm telling you that right now. You don't have them, okay? So those websites are being taken down, thankfully. Everyone I've seen so far has been gone. Hell yeah. But the fact that they exist proves that they're trying to create, like, as if the left killed Charlie Kirk, and that was immediately. That was, like, not just, like, after the fact. It was literally, like, the narrative right away. There's trans did it. With the trans bullets, and there was trans messages on the bullets. Yeah. Yeah, in the deep red Utah Mormon state, for sure. Definitely.
Newsworthy public interest acts that we've seen in a long time. And what appears to be an action by Jimmy Kimmel to play into that narrative that this was somehow a MAGA or Republican motivated person. If that's what happened here with his conduct, that is really, really sick. And I've been very clear. From the moment that I have become chairman of the FCC, I want to reinvigorate the public interest. And what people don't understand is that the broadcasters, and you've gotten this right, are entirely different.
And then Benny Johnson doesn't even have a real American flag behind him. You guys notice that?
than people that use other forms of communication. They have a license granted by us at the FCC, and that comes with it an obligation to operate in the public interest. And we can get into some ways that we've been trying to reinvigorate the public interest and some changes that we've seen. But frankly, when you see stuff like this
is the FCC chairman in charge of what's on public broadcasting in the U.S. on TV. And I say on TV now, but I'm talking like, but it's they post their videos online on social media. I don't know if this is going to affect Jimmy Kimmel being posted online and everything else too.
I mean, look, we can do this the easy way or the hard way.
We can do this the easy way or the hard way.
These companies can find ways to change conduct, to take action, frankly, on Kimmel, or there's going to be additional work for the FCC ahead.
What?
Thanks for doing this, Merrick. First, I've heard of it. I heard Colbert, Maddow, and Reed have a future project in mind. It's yeah. I just hope you guys start supporting independent media even more, because like I exist. Jimmy Kimmel's gonna have a lot of support. Okay, but I need you guys to help support not just me, but like Dylan Burns and others that are doing independent media.
What kind of action,
like true independent media, actually,
would you see? I, at the very least, would like to have an on-air apology from Jimmy Kimmel.
Thank you, Gauki,
to the Kirk
being
family,
an insider.
to all of those who he slandered, because he did say that Charlie Kirk, he is effectively saying that our movement did this. Our movement killed Charlie, that Charlie was deserving of this, effectively. And we've seen that rear its head. This happens quite regularly, actually, on MSNBC and on other networks where they're trying to victim blame. And what that does, Mr. Chairman, respectfully, is continues the lie and continues the threat level to say effectively that we have no share in this problem at all on the left.
Benny Johnson, see how watching Benny Johnson, he crafts the narrative for you and not the actual truth. But every single time there's any type of tragedy ever, no matter if it's a mass shooting, no matter if it's anything weather related, every single Democrat from the top down, past presidents and all, everyone that's been in the Democratic Party, currently serving politicians and old, all post about how they're with the community, or they're with the people, and they, or if it's a violent act, they condemn it. If it's political violence, they condemn the political violence every time. Not just like some of the times, every single time. All of them, top down, no doubt about it. And you don't have that on the right wing. They do memes or lie about things. Oh, that was a waltz. That was a waltz guy. Yeah. Yeah, that's Benny Johnson told me. And then you had Mike Lee repost the picture. Right? This is how the right white supremacist wing reports on news. There you go. Right-wing media. With the guy that murdered Melissa Hortman and her family doing memes. Weird. I wonder why the mass shooters do memes when they kill people. You want to go back to George Floyd memes. Most racist things I've ever seen. Still to this day. So, and then when you have the president that's like validating the violence from the right by saying, oh, it's just because they want crime to stop. They just tough on crime. That's why the right's violent. The left is the real problem. The Benny Johnson, but he's paid by Russia, so of course he's lying. But you have a lot of Americans that watch this or watch Benny Johnson, and they're like, he's based because he says what I like. PS2 graphics looking ass. Looks like a fucking dork. But these are the people that are running the right wing. The white supremacist wing. Let's send a message unsub from these corps that are silencing. Yes, absolutely. Get on that. They're going to learn. The conservatives canceled everything so long ago. If the corporations want to play these games, they're going to learn, like, they're going to go broke big time.
This is a clear-cut case. What would you like to see done at ABC?
Well, look, I think what you said there strikes me as a very reasonable
Thank you, Beatty.
step that can be taken. I mean, obviously, look, there's calls for Kimmel to be fired.
I sound childish. I mean, I got you. Don't worry. Goodbye. Okay, we'll fix that problem. Now you don't have to hear it anymore. Lucifer, Lucinda, Lucifer. Sorry, Lucinda Walker. Thank you for the 5 gifted. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for the support. That was a big miss. My bad, Lucinda.
I think you could certainly see a path forward for suspension.
Portable Regulation Studio. Thank you for being a supporter.
Going to have remedies that we could look at, and again, we may ultimately be called to be a judge on that. But this also strikes me as sort of conduct that, to some extent, shows some sort of desperate irrelevance. I mean, we're sort of exiting an era where the 3 main legacy broadcast networks could control and dictate the narrative to the American people. And one of the things that President Trump did when he ran for office, he ran directly at that legacy media establishment. And he smashed the facade that they get to control what we say, what we think, the narrative around events. And
we control. The government does. Media doesn't control. The right-wing media does. And the other corporate establishment media doesn't report on things intentionally, or is more sympathetic to one thing over the other, which can drive narratives for sure. But you got the right-wing media that does nothing but lie and craft narratives. And that's their what they do. The only thing they do, corporate or independent. There's not one honest right-wing media source. Never has been. They try and then they fail because they're like, oh, to be right-wing, I have to lie. I don't want to do that. And then they try to, and then they fail because the right-wing is not interested in that. They're interested in memes and things you can clip quickly. And go and clip farm. That's what they like. Quick entertainment. They don't give a shit about your honesty. That's woke.
We're seeing a lot of consequences that are flowing from President Trump doing that. I mean, look, NPR has been defunded. PBS has been defunded. Colbert is retiring. Joy Reid is out at MSNBC. Terry Moran has gone from ABC and now admitting that they are biased. CBS has now made some commitments to us that they're going to return to more fact-based journalism. And so I think you see some lashing out from people like Kimmel, who are frankly,
thank you, Salam, for the 20 stars,
and are looking for ways to get attention. But their grip on the narrative is slipping. That doesn't mean that it's still not important to hold them to the public interest standard. That's what we're going to have to do.
So we did elucidate and enumerate a number of statutes that could be used against ABC. If you would, Mr. Chairman, would you just explain for us what broadcasting in the public interest means? I don't think most people understand actually the depth of how important it is that ABC, NBC, CBS have these gratuitous broadcast privileges granted to them by the American taxpayer.
Yeah, the right way to sort of explain this to people so they understand it is in the media landscape as relevant here, there's 2 main buckets of actors. One, you've got what we call national programmers. So that's what Comcast is, Comcast NBC. That's what Disney is, Disney ABC. They're the ones that effectively create and produce these shows. They then provide those shows to individually licensed TV stations. And those TV stations are, in the main, owned by independent companies.
Independent from Comcast
and Disney. But Disney and Comcast both own some televisions themselves. So start from the idea that you have national programmers that create the show, including the Kimmel Show, and then they're given to and distributed over licensed TV stations. It's the licensed TV stations that have the public interest standard, including those TV stations that Comcast and Disney own. So
really,
FCC regulatory action focuses on those individual stations. And one thing that we're trying to do is to empower those local stations to serve their own communities.
We're empowering them. Wow, that sounds woke. Sounds wild. We're empowering them by forcing them.
Public interest means you can't be running a narrow partisan circus and still meeting your public interest obligations. It means you can't be engaging in a pattern of news distortion. We have a rule on the book that interprets a public interest standard that says news distortion is something that is prohibited.
It's prohibited? Oh, it's prohibited. Okay. God, when this pendulum swings, I think that this is gonna delete right-wing media completely. You guys are gonna play a dangerous game, unless if they get an actual Democrat with a fucking spine. You're just playing a super dangerous game.
Likewise, we have a rule that addresses broadcast hoaxes. And so, again, over the years, the FCC has.
How many guys would be down if they're like 3 terms for president? Obama. How many guys I'd vote for him if they do 3 terms? We can do 3 terms. Okay, bet. Obama. What's up? Run him back. I don't think he'd want to though, but I would vote for him if he did. I don't think he would though. He's not the type. He'd probably absolutely fully support the person though, but I think people would call for Obama to run again.
Step back from enforcing it, and I don't think it's been to the benefit of anybody. Just look at the credibility of these legacy media. It's absolutely through the floor. They used to be able to say at least they were more trustworthy than Congress, but now they're even less trustworthy than Congress. And so I think as a business matter for them, something has to change. And at the FCC, we need to reinvigorate this. So again, there's actions that we can take on licensed broadcasters. And frankly, I think that it's really sort of past time that a lot of these licensed broadcasters themselves push back on Comcast and Disney and say, listen, we are going to preempt. We are not going to run Kimmel anymore until you straighten this out, because we licensed broadcaster, are running the possibility of fines or license revocation from the FCC.
Wow, how they're talking, like he's literally like, we are extorting these companies, and then he's using gaslighting to try to pressure Jimmy Kimmel, but they all gave in, so who cares about their pressure? We are literally pressuring this. What an absolute extortion all around. What's the best way to send you breaking news? Not saying you're slow, but I'll see articles posted in like 20 minutes so you find them. Want to help you find these articles sooner? Discord.
If we continue to run,
or if you see them on X, tag me.
Content that ends up being a pattern of news distortion. So I think, again, Disney needs to see some change here, but the individual licensed stations that are taking their content, it's time for them to step up and say, this, garbage, to the extent that that's what comes down the pipe in the future, isn't something that we think serves the needs of our local communities. But this sort of status quo is obviously not acceptable where we are.
You believe that what Jimmy Kimmel said rises to the level of news distortion?
Look, again, the FCC could be called upon to be an ultimate judge in that, but at this point, I think it's clear. It appears to be clear that you could make a strong argument that this is sort of an intentional effort to mislead the American people about a very core fundamental fact, a very important matter. At the end of the day, if we do get called upon to cast a vote on this, Disney will have a chance to put in their arguments and explain it. But this is a very, very serious issue right now for Disney.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is. Not in the way you think, though. FCC chair is part of Project 2025 group as well. Absolutely. Oh, there you go. Boycott Disney and cancel Hulu. How many of you guys have done so? Put a 1 in the chat if you have so. It's going to be a bad day for, well, they do not know what they've done. And it's been we just saw how they acted for the past week, calling for blood over a perceived ghost of the left that doesn't exist. Governor Kathy Hochul, freedom of speech must be protected, whether it comes from an individual, politician, or comedian. The Trump administration's effort to silence Jimmy Kimmel is unacceptable. Are we doing it, or is it going to happen over Jimmy Kimmel? Lines being drawn. Trump has attacked or sued the media, universities, and law firms, institutions that are independent, raise uncomfortable facts, or have investigated him in the past. Thank you, Gene, for the 10 gifted. We cannot stand by as he uses every part of the government to suppress those who disagree and speak out. That was written 5 hours ago, ironically. Well, there's the Charlie Kirk event in Delano. That looks about white. Yep. Senator Nathan Westenberg says he will introduce legislation to commission a statue of Charlie Kirk at the U of M campus. What the fuck, bro? Well, good news, Republicans have 0 power in Minnesota, so that will never happen. That's crazy, though. That's crazy. Make it a fountain? Oh, boy. Libs of TikTok. Fuck around and found out, you piece of shit. Damn. MAGA media. Gavin Newsom buying and controlling media platforms, firing commentators, canceling shows. These aren't coincidences. It's coordinated and it's dangerous. The GOP does not believe in free speech. They are censoring you in real time. And that is facts. Look at how they control their base like they do. If you're like, oh, a lifelong Republican. So, like, if you don't know shit about right-wing media, that's, like, going to be our state media soon. If you don't know how it works. Kamala Harris's first choice for VP was Pete Buttigieg. Good God, people. By the way, Sinclair are big GOP donors. Sinclair's ABC stations to air special in remembrance of Charlie Kirk during Jimmy Kimmel Live. What did...
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half-staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. He's at the 4th stage of grief, construction. Demolition, construction. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish.
That's what he got canceled over. That's what he got canceled over. Unreal. That's what he got pulled off air for. That's the clip that they say that he got pulled. This is Perry Stock of Nexstar Media Group. He's responsible for canceling Jimmy Kimmel. Boycott alert. Disney ABC just caved and pulled Jimmy Kimmel for political reasons. Nexstar, which now owns a CW, plus 200 local ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox stations as part of the same machine. Boycott Disney. Boycott Nexstar. Boycott their advertisers. Hit them where it hurts. There you go, the CW. ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, basically like, oh, weird, the mainstream media. Anyways, it all works out in the end, doesn't it? Rolling Stone is now confirming what we all knew happened with Jimmy Kimmel. In the hours leading up to the decision to pull Jimmy Kimmel, two sources familiar with the matter say senior executives at ABC, its owner Disney, and affiliates convened emergency meetings to figure out how to minimize the damage. Multiple execs felt that Kimmel had not actually said anything over the line, two sources say, but the threat of Trump administration retaliation loomed. If you're blaming Democrats right now, I don't have time for that, Finian, and like I'm not going to tolerate it right now. You want to play those games if you're like a outlier leftist and you're like, this is the Democrats' fault. Like, get the fuck out of here. Holy shit, dude. Remember, this is what Fox News and right-wing media just said. Literally a day or two prior.
They have given billions of dollars to mental health and the homeless population.
Meanwhile, right-wing media. So left-wing media Jimmy Kimmel, I guess? Okay.
A lot of them don't.
Meanwhile, literally right-wing state media.
They have given billions of dollars to mental health and the homeless population. A lot of them don't want to take the programs. A lot of them don't want to get the help that is necessary. You can't give them a choice. Either you take the resources that we're going to give you, or you decide that you're going to be locked up in jail. That's the way it has to be now.
Or involuntary lethal injection.
Yeah.
Involuntary lethal injection.
Something. Just kill him.
Yeah, Brian, why?
Just kill him. On morning TV. This is how Republicans wake up. Or MAGA wakes up in the morning. Wake up, have their ivermectin and their bacon and all their other greasy food, and then put this on. And then they're like, we should kill homeless people today. Legally, of course. Debate me about it. You're gonna have Gen Z MAGA out there. Homeless people should be euthanized. Change my mind. In like 3 weeks. The way we're going.
Trump.
So really, we don't need to rewatch that. So we just watched the Benny Johnson clip. We just saw what Jimmy Kimmel said, which has to be the most mid thing I've ever heard from any type of political commentator, I guess, about any event. Like, are you joking? Really?
Well, hours later, ABC made the announcement Kimmel would indeed be taken off the air indefinitely. And this is just the latest chapter in Donald Trump's ongoing campaign to crack down on free speech, dominate the media, and essentially render the First Amendment.
So anyways, you guys are learning that even though they might not be forward-facing right-wing media, they're still right-wing media. They just pay the payments in the back end. Payments in the back door.
An extreme campaign that has been on overdrive the past week. I mean, just yesterday, you had the Deputy Attorney General of these United States, the number 2 of the Department of Justice and the former criminal lawyer for the president, suggesting using criminal anti-racketeering laws, the kind of things used for mobsters, RICO statutes, to go after and prosecute protesters who heckled Donald Trump at a restaurant, who yelled at him. We're also getting new reports today. The White House plans to target a variety of left-leaning groups and nonprofits in the coming weeks, all part of a larger and more dangerous effort underway. And it follows a playbook we have seen successfully run in recent years by authoritarian strongmen in places like Hungary and Turkey and Russia. Because in those places, they didn't just criminalize speech they didn't like, though some of them did some of that. Crucially, they made it virtually impossible to see and hear examples of that speech by taking de facto control of the media landscape. In Hungary, for example, the country's oldest newspaper was suddenly shuttered.
Which, by the way, the MAGA is paralleling this. They've had CPAC in Hungary for the past, I don't know how many years, but they're going to try to copy Orban. That's where we're going. Michael Bone, thank you for being a contributor.
After being bought by a businessman with links to far-right President Viktor Orban. According to Reporters Without Borders, Orban has used media buyouts by government-connected oligarchs to build a true media empire subject to his party's orders. The group estimates such buyouts have given Orban's party control of some 80% of Hungary's media market resources. It is a similar situation in Turkey, where, according to Reuters, the biggest media brands are controlled by companies and people close to longtime leader Recep Erdogan and his AK party, following a series of acquisitions starting in 2008. Then, of course, there's Russia, where oligarchs friendly to President Vladimir Putin control much of the media. Wartime restrictions have shut down the rest. In each of these three countries, they didn't just arrest protesters or dissident journalists or show up knocking on the door of magazines. They used government power, and sometimes through legal mechanisms, to essentially roll up all of the country's media into a friendly propaganda arm of the regime. So given that context, I want you to look around the U.S. right now and see what's been happening here, right in front of our eyes. In July, the Trump FCC, that's the entity that Brendan Carr controls, approved the sale of Paramount, with it, CBS, to Skydance Media, which is controlled by the family of pro-Trump tech billionaire named Larry Ellison. It was his son, actually, who's buying it. Now, that approval only came after Paramount paid Trump $16 million to settle the president's...
I think we covered that merger and how Trump was strong-arming him. That was like a few months ago during the summer.
Obvious, frivolous, ludicrous lawsuit against CBS News and 60 Minutes for editing interviews. And after the Ellisons agreed to eliminate DEI programs, and after they agreed to install an executive, formerly from a conservative think tank, to essentially act as a sort of ideological minder at CBS News for political bias.
Pull out your shares from Disney and ABC. That's what'll hurt you. You can make more money investing in European arms. No. Invest in independent American media. Stop this. No. American independent media needs funding. It used to be PBS and public broadcasting, but you can see they can just get shut down by the government. So no, invest in American independent media voices.
So they did all those things.
If you're an American, if you're European, obviously support your independent media in Europe. But you're not. I'm not seeing this shit like in America that you guys have. You don't have this happening to you right now.
Then they got the
thank you,
approval
Else.
for this very, very
thank you, Elsie.
Large merger. After that, CBS canceled Stephen Colbert's top-rated late-night show, which was notorious for its criticism of the sitting president. Last week, after Larry Ellison officially leapfrogged another pro-Trump billionaire, Elon Musk, to become the world's richest man, the new Paramount conglomerate made another media bid, this time for Warner Brothers Discovery, which just so happens to own CNN. So there's a possibility that they could purchase that and roll that up as well.
They already are. What do you think they brought Scott Jensen or whatever the fuck his name is? And like CNN's already capitulated to MAGA. And they have MAGA news people on there.
And yesterday, we got this news about TikTok. Perhaps you've seen it. Do you remember the Chinese-owned app that was banned as a security risk because of a bipartisan vote in both houses of Congress and signed into law by Joe Biden? And then Donald Trump just literally ignored the law while he searched for U.S. buyer. Well, yesterday, there was news of a framework of a deal. Interesting. Let's see what the deal is. Gives Americans an 80% stake in TikTok. Which Americans? Well, you'll never guess. Yes, Larry Ellison is one of them, along with...
This is where it's going to get bad.
With far-right
Trumpy billionaires close in on TikTok takeover entrepreneur Larry Ellison worth approximately $350 billion. And Mark Andreessen, a venture capitalist with a $2 billion net worth.
Venture capitalist.
They're going to own TikTok. So all the same people that own our mainstream media are going to own TikTok. Isn't that fun? Don't we love that?
Trump donor, Doge consultant, MAGA backer, Mark Andreessen. As Talking Points memo noted, if all those deals all go...
Top Trump ally may soon control TikTok and CNN. What that would mean for the Murdoch family, controlling Fox News, The Journal, The New York Post, and its other properties. So wow, you're going to have... richer right-wing media versus less rich right-wing media. This is so good. This is so good.
Go through. That would mean the Murdoch family controlling Fox News, The Journal, New York Post, its other properties, Twitter, TikTok, CBS, CNN, and more owned by Elon Musk, and the Ellison family, The Washington Post, owned by Jeff Bezos. The Trump administration is threatening to bring the government down on free speech and use it against dissent. It is also facilitating the sale of some of our biggest private media outlets to Trump allies and is a very obvious attempt to consolidate power over free expression. Ben Rhodes served as Deputy National Security Advisor to President Barack Obama, author of After the...
Okay. Trump's free speech failure.
Trump administration is clearly on defense now over these proven attacks on free speech and confessions, admissions of improper motive by senior officials. The New York Times reporting there are now these measures to silence opponents that the White House wants to pursue. That would be un-American, full stop, but probably unconstitutional. We will see exactly what they try to do. But that Trump is pursuing them by invoking Kirk's killing. Tonight, there are clues about a new order Trump may push that would try to curb free speech. So this anti-speech agenda continues even as AG Bondi backtracked after admitting what I just mentioned, an unconstitutional goal.
We don't really post on TikTok. I don't really do that one. We have it. Let's be clear, it's not ABC pulls Kimmel after the comments about Charlie Kirk. It's ABC pulls Kimmel after threats from the Trump FCC chair. Joe Rogan predicts a Harris-Wallace administration would clamp down more on free speech. Clown behavior. Mosquito IQ, that's even better. Bathwater. Room temperature. Room temperature, but like must in the air too. Musty room temperature IQ. You got mothballs. Mold, mildew IQ. All you had to do is read and like look at it or listen to me read it or somebody, not even me. Laurie, our FBI director took time today to talk about the men's Olympic ice hockey team. Don't worry. Yeah, all right. Just show me the clip of these people praising Luigi and I'll start feeling more sympathetic toward anything you want to do with them.
Good looking this killer is, and there's a huge wave of horny washing over us right now. It's like when one of the guys you work with says I had a dream about you last night. When it's the FedEx guy with the big muscles and the rolled up sleeves, you're like, oh. But if it's the bald IT guy wearing Crocs with black socks, you're on the phone with HR. It's kind of that same dynamic. Our staff today, I have never experienced anything like this. These are screen grabs of actual exchanges between our members of our staff and their friends, relatives, whatever. I've changed the names to protect the guilty, but let's see. Lorraine C. asks, do you guys think the United Healthcare CEO killer is hot? Friend replies, yes. I love Luigi. I think he's gay, though. This is an exchange between two of our producers. We'll call them Elphaba and Glinda. My TikTok is flooded. My mom chain's going nuts. That's my TikTok. Everyone is obsessed. People are saying a New York jury has the power to find him innocent because we all love him. I'm not mad at him. This one's from Susie D. She got hurt. This text from her mother. Am I the only person wondering that if the gunman had tweezed and reshaped his eyebrows, he would have never been caught? Aha, good point. His eyebrows are very defined. Next one. Please tell me you're as obsessed as I am with this handsome CEO killer. Yes, so many questions. Like, can I fix you?
I thought humor was back. Didn't Elon make comedy legal again? Then Elon, I mean, boy, none of y'all, if that makes you upset, or if what people had to say about Charlie Kirk, couldn't have ever served in the military. But also, I mean, is that he's talking about a culture issue that happened? Brian Thompson shouldn't have been murdered, but it was Brian Thompson wasn't a politician, wasn't a MAGA politician that was murdered in political violence. Luigi Mangione took matters into his own hands and murdered a CEO and his own. And these programs have always like tried to make a light of the bad through jokes. He's a joke teller. Once again, it goes back to we're holding joke tellers higher than the president. Sean Hannity doesn't think Donald Trump is a prominent conservative voice. Everybody's saying that I was solely responsible for the firing of Stephen Colbert from CBS Late Night. That is not true. The reason check the discussion on Discord. Okay, give me a second. That is not true. The reason he was fired for a pure lack of talent and the fact that this deficiency was costing CBS $50 million in a year of losses. And it was only going to get worse. Next up will be an even less talented Jimmy Kimmel and then a weak, very insecure Jimmy Fallon. The only real question is who will go first. Showbiz and television is a very simple business. If you get ratings, you can say or do anything. If you don't, you can always be a victim. Ratings wasn't an issue for Jimmy or either of these two. I don't even like Jimmy Fallon. I like Jimmy Kimmel better. Every video on YouTube goes viral. They always get millions of views.
Good evening.
Outside of Jimmy Kimmel's studio, damn. There's a live stream. They're live out. Are they gonna interview him? You guys think they're gonna talk to him? Got a feed out there. It's getting serious. 20 million subscribers. 2.7. Just look at his video. This is on YouTube. $1.6 million. Every one of his monologues. 3 million. 2.7 million. 1.8 million. 2 million. 2.1 million. 2.2 million. 2.7 million. Every single video he is talking and doing his monologue, it is well over multiple millions of views. Obviously, the in-between videos and videos of not him won't be as higher of a number. But every time he is speaking, look at how many views the videos get. Jimmy Kimmel Live outside. Now, I mean, he's going to cook. If he's canceled, he's going to cook. And then all the videos will be of him. Now he can be even more political. So I'm telling you, MAGA didn't learn anything from their own victimhood, perceived victimhood of like the 10 years ago. Megan Kelly, I'm not sure he needs to hear this, but Jimmy Kimmel got on the air and falsely stated as a fact that Charlie Kirk's killer was MAGA, smearing an entire movement and Trump in particular. With, oh my God, we're doing it. Smearing an entire movement in Trump. Oh my God, dude. At a time when the threat against those on the right is at an... Are you kidding me? They're acting... Bro, they are literally acting worse than any left-leaning person ever acted in 2016, 17, 18. 15, 16, 17, 18. This is they got all of the powers of all their top media people, the president, the whole administration, every government figure. Oh my God. Bunch of victims just that aren't victims. This was after we knew from the UT governor that the killer had been indoctrinated into... Yeah, he just said that. Anybody left of Donald Trump dick sucking is left-wing ideology. Let's just be so clear. If you're not absolutely throating Donald Trump, you are left to MAGA. And don't let them ever gaslight you out of that either. And I know for a fact, if you're like a quiet little conservative that watches me, you've probably been called left because you supported Ukraine. Or, I don't know, you did something else that goes against what Trump wants. And you were called liberal or leftist now. We're all leftists now. After we'd seen the shooter's bullet casings reflecting furry trans memes, where was the trans memes? Are we actually, that's what we're going with? Calling Charlie a fascist and with anti-fascist lyrics, which again, we already showed you. Every single reference he made was video games. And even in the text messages, he literally says, I did that for the memes. Those messages I wrote those for the memes. Unless you don't believe those, unless you're like sussing out on the text messages, Steve shared them. Where is it now? I can find it. No, I shared it today. Remember how I was engraving the bullets? The fucking messages are mostly a big meme. If I see notices bulge ooh woo on Fox News, I might have a stroke. This was a radical leftist with trans memes. And then again, as he already explained, or has already been explained, since he had Helldivers 2 written on Hello Chow is in Far Cry 6, and it's one of their songs on Far Cry 6. All video game shit. This is leftist fascist. Which also the Groypers had in their playlist before they had it removed in the Groyper Wars playlist. This was leftist. People thought they were getting cheaper groceries, but they got fascism. By the way, Antifa stands for anti-fascist. There's no leader of Antifa. You're not gonna, that's why it's scary, because there is no leader of Antifa. They don't have meetings. They don't have chapters. None of that exists. That would be cringe if they did. That'd be weird. They could just go sit. Everyone just goes sits in all black and just sits there. Like twirl the umbrellas for a little bit. Like they don't have that. They just gather at the protests, and it's not like. And their idea of Antifa is the Black Bloc anarchists. That's what they're called, actually. That wear the umbrellas and all the black. Antifa itself are people that are just anti-fascist. That's what that means. This is McCarthyism for anti-fascists, like for communists back in the day, or people that were just perceived as communist. We're already living through that. People are losing their jobs and losing shit. Like it's like that, but with social media. A sick, dangerous, radical left disaster as a major terrorist organization. I will also be strongly recommending that those funding Antifa be thoroughly investigated in accordance with the highest legal standards of practice. Thank you for your attention to this matter. As we got Jimmy Kimmel, is he going to make a statement? So Jimmy Kimmel canceled. Antifa is designated a terrorist organization. Great, now Jimmy Kimmel is even going to have a Substack. Damn. Why Gen X is the real loser generation? Don't cry for millennials or Gen X. Save your pity for those in their 50s. Damn, what a spicy title. Okay, well, I don't have The Economist. Spicy title. Probably more so about, like, economic opportunities. I think that's more so what it would be talking about, obviously, being from The Economist, but what an attention-grabbing headline. Wow. Are they arguing? This is Scott Jennings on CNN. Their MAGA guy.
They're trying to intimidate them. The same thing with ABC. The same thing with CBS. This is the power of the government brought down on speech, on the press.
Maybe it's just the power of someone in the government forcing a little self-reflection in these media companies for what they
What? The government forcing a little self-reflection in these media companies? Are you actually joking?
They've been doing and the way they've been operating. Free speech or not? Of course I do.
Right.
It means you're saying we have to tie our hands and never fight back. All of us who've been attacked for
so let Jimmy Kimmel fight back.
So now it's about fighting back. Do you
yes, I think when he speaks out, when he says these people are bad and disgusting and they're
not,
I totally agree with that. But I don't believe that means an elected official like myself or others can say, no, just go ahead and talk. I'm not going to push back on you.
Do you understand that the threat of the president suing you for saying things that they don't like, and the threat of the government preventing you from conducting businesses.
Well, the reason the president won in the past when he was a candidate was because of actions that they took were contradictory to what they're
trying to.
Rogan, Schultz, the rest of the podcast crowd, you got to think they're going to unload on Disney, right? Yeah, right. Ken Klippenstein, the Colbert Show is criminally unfunny. I don't get why people are just assuming politics was involved. Right. It was very obvious when Colbert was canceled that Kimmel would be next.
Nexstar already owns lots of TV stations. It wants to merge with Tegna, which owns lots of other stations. In order to do that, it needs Brendan Carr, the FCC chair's permission, and it actually needs the FCC to change the regulations entirely about how many stations an individual company can own. So Nexstar has all of this pending business before the government. Wow. Tegna also does, and there's another big station owner called Sinclair that also has business pending before the government. So what do we know tonight? We know that both Nexstar and Sinclair called up ABC this afternoon, complained about Kimmel, and said they were yanking the show off their stations. ABC subsequently yanked the show nationwide. So we know that two major TV station owners, both of which need to curry favor with the Trump administration, were the ones that most loudly and vocally condemned Kimmel and said they were going to not air the show tonight and in the coming nights. It's an Occam's razor situation. It's exactly what it looks like. Nexstar.
Brian Seltzer's back on CNN. They aren't going after the guys with the white hoods or the small mustache. Yeah, that's their favorite. That's their people. Really?
They didn't have to do this. They looked at all of the factors and said, okay, it's time for us to take Jimmy Kimmel off the air. I think there's more going on than just Brendan Carr's interview. All the time the president criticizes media outlets who then go out and continue to do what he hates it.
And then he sues them for $15 billion.
And what's going to happen?
And what's going to happen? That's MAGA. Yeah, and anyway, yeah, nothing's going to come of it.
Nothing. What's going to happen?
This is an attempt to intimidate the New York Times. And you've heard me.
And they don't care. That's MAGA.
I'm not crazy about the New York Times coverage right now. I mean, listen. But they're trying to intimidate them. The same thing with ABC. The same thing with CBS. This is the power of the government brought down on speech, on the press.
Maybe they did.
Daniel Goldman, congressman from New York, said, "Wake up, America. Donald Trump is pursuing a coordinated effort to destroy our democracy. It's up to all of us to stop him. That includes corporate media like Disney, ABC, and tech companies bending the knee. It may be someone else today, but it will be you tomorrow. It will. Literally. I mean, that's not even hyperbolic like MAGA has been doing. Just look no further than what their activities have been in for the past week, going after individuals." Going after Ilhan Omar. There you go. Maddie Ellis Smith, registered nurse, wrote, after Charlie Kirk assassination, seems like it was fast and painless. Wish he would have suffered. We reached out to health partners for comment. Trying to get her canceled. Just in, state request BCA autopsy, school shooting. Alpha News. This is Minnesota dog shit media. Tina Morin doubles down, blames Charlie Kirk for his own death. Any comment, Hennepin County? Any comment? They tried to get this guy to lose the election and failed. Zhang Pao Li. He ended up winning, but they tried. Tried to get him canceled. Let me see if I can find. Hold on. Careful, peaceful call to action. Call to peaceful action. That's their thing that they're trying to do. Peacefully cancel. Show up in person tonight to make your voices heard about several faculty members with concerning posts after Charlie Kirk's assassination. Remember, this is the persistence. This is the guy that's actively trying to get MAGA voters registered and also is connected to the Trump administration. This guy, Scott Presler, and this guy.
Hey everybody, this is Scott Presler. I'm not here to bring you a happy video. I'm here to give you a dose of reality. It's August 29th. I want you to bookmark this. You timestamp this right now. It's after 2 a.m. and I'm out walking my 6 miles as I do every single day.
At 2 a.m. Okay, so that's Scott Presler. You can go through him. Scott better watch his back. He'll be joining his friend Charlie Kirk soon. Be posting random responses that get 2 views. Going after individuals. Meet this person. Meet this person. Meet this person. Get them canceled. Look at thousands of likes. This person. Victory. President Walter Inawako of Gannon University said he's profoundly disappointed by the deeply troubling social media posts and he condemns them. Meet this person. I'm not trying to get them further attention than what they're getting. So I'm just showing you, like, hey, look at all the posts that they're screenshotting and then giving them to their MAGA influencers who are directly connected to the Trump administration.
I'm a former employee for Alexandria City Public Schools. In Northern Virginia, we had 800.
Going after regular people. Ron Filipkowski, this isn't just. It's unconstitutional. It's hypocritical. It's immoral. It's illegal. It's wrong. It's unprecedented. They don't care about any of those things. They laugh at hand-wringing. It's all about acquiring and wielding power. You can't shame them. You have to defeat them. Literally. You don't have time to play purity testing games in the elections. Elections have consequences. We're living it. The ominous they. It's a ghost. The left. It's a ghost. It's an enemy. A perceived enemy. But Biden's FCC chair also threatened to pull a Fox News Newsmax OAN show off the air. Oh wait, Biden's FCC never did such thing. Only Trump. Here's the WGA statement on ABC's decision to pull Jimmy Kimmel, the Writers Guild of America. The right to speak our minds and to disagree with each other, to disturb even, is at the very heart of what means to be a free people. It is not to be denied. Not by violence, not by the abuse of governmental power, nor by acts of corporate cowardice. As a guild, we stand united in opposition to anyone who uses their power and influence to silence the voice of writers, or anyone who speaks in dissent. If free speech applied only to ideas we like, we needn't have bothered to write it into the Constitution. What we have signed on to, painful as it may be at times, is the freeing agreement to disagree. Shame on those in government who forget this founding truth. As for our employers, our words have made you rich. Silencing us impoverishes the whole world. The WGA stands with Jimmy Kimmel and his writers. The Writers Guild.
Involved in that for? If it's a law
They're
enforcement
defending
issue,
their people.
if it's a law enforcement
That's
issue,
not defending.
shouldn't that come from the DOJ?
Well, it's also not. It's not defending your people. I will say Donald Trump spent.
You agree with it?
Hold on,
Once people
Donald
call him
Trump.
the Gestapo?
Hold on, Donald Trump spent the last 4 years.
You agree with it?
Going after FBI agents and prosecutors for the search of Mar-a-Lago. What happened? There was actually, they tried to hurt FBI agents. We had to put security details on FBI agents that went and searched Mar-a-Lago, on the prosecutors that worked on that case. What was the response? The response was, these are career prosecutors making decisions based on the facts and the law. They have dedicated their lives on this, to this cause. We did not ask for people to stop talking about them. If there are threats, I agree, they should be prosecuted. And you know what? On January 6th, we did prosecute.
And Trump pardoned all of them.
Those threats, and not only threats, but actions. And the president pardoned them. And
All of
there's
them.
something called deterrence when it comes to law enforcement. If you want people to stop going after officers, ICE agents, any federal official, then you put the people who caused the crime in jail and leave them in jail, and you don't actually pardon them. So if Donald Trump and DHS actually cared about protecting our federal law enforcement, then they would have never pardoned those people in the first place.
I mean, I would also have expected that Donald Trump would.
Just things that are happening online or on social media. Late night show, something has gone seriously. Yes, Commissar. There's more work to do.
Look, President Trump ran directly at these legacy broadcast outlets, and he exposed them to these market forces. And a lot of these affiliate groups said, to your point, we're tired of carrying this stuff. Late night shows, something's gone seriously awry there. They went from going for applause, from laugh lines to applause lines. They went
from laugh lines to applause lines.
From being court jesters that would make fun of everybody in power to being court clerics and enforcing a very
Virtue signal harder, you snowflake ass little bitch. Oh, and let's do slogans too with the fucking virtue signaling. Holy shit, dude. But ChatGPT write that one for you? Holy.
narrow political ideology. And Nexstar, as you noted, stood
It's
up
always motherfuckers that look like this too.
and said, look, we have the
No hair, having ass.
and we don't want to run this anymore. We don't think it serves the interest of our community.
Mayo is spicy looking, ketchup is spicy ass.
Did the same thing. So there's
My
more
wife left me.
work to go.
Looking boy.
Very glad to see that America's broadcasters are standing up to serve the interests of their community. We don't just have this progressive foie gras coming out from New York and Hollywood. Look,
But he looks like a used razor. I'll look like that. Let's make sure everybody understands the facts with Kimmel, as the right is trying to paint this as an at-will termination. Next, the parent company of Jimmy Kimmel's show is seeking an FCC approval for a merger. Kimmel made comments about Trump on Monday night, months after Trump openly said he wanted to get Kimmel fired next. Reporting is that Trump had the FCC lean on Nexstar over these comments. Apparently, they aggressively used the line, "We can do this easy way or the hard way." Multiple executives at the network have it on background and said they had no issue with Kimmel's statements, but the Trump of threat loomed. Turning Point is a political organization. Sinclair demand. This is what I said. There will be a backlash. I mean, brother, there already has been a backlash before all of this. Charlie Kirk's assassination by a Utah lunatic doesn't change the fact that there was already giant backlash to the Trump administration before that. What did you think that, like, your anger about people's feelings about Charlie Kirk was going to stop that? And then not only that, you're getting people fired. They're losing their positions. And this was before Charlie Kirk was murdered. This is because of tariffs or DEI policies that Trump said is bad. I mean, there's no, I mean, you're going to really learn. You're going to have people that have no interest in politics really be political. I learned that through MAGA. MAGA taught me that one back in the day, 10 years ago. People thought it was such, oh, I'm going to get involved in politics now because they're canceling my favorite racist. You're going to have people get involved in politics that are actual good people now. And they just haven't been involved because it's annoying. Deb, bro, this shit is unhinged. Jimmy Kimmel shouldn't have called the shooter MAGA. That was stupid of him, but the rest of his set was comedy. It's not even about what he should have said. Who cares? It's Jimmy Kimmel's show. And if we have a media landscape like having right-wing media exist, then there's the double standard. The fact that right-wing media even exists is the fact that, like, if that exists, and it does, then what are we talking about? He does not have the right to have a TV show where he lies his ass off. Jesus.
He's obviously free to say it.
Will you defend that speech in this country that will defend to the death the speech of others? Will you defend Jimmy Kimmel's speech?
Do I defend Jimmy Kimmel going on television and saying that a shooter from the left...
Do you defend his right to do so?
He has a right to do so, but he does not have a right to have a television show where he lies his ass off to the American people.
Jesus Christ.
That tax this country on a nightly basis.
Whoa.
Oh, you're going to get mad, Scott?
Hold on. Listen, there are plenty of people over on another network that
What a little snowflake.
I will not name, who lied about the last election, who denigrate half the country every single night. And guess what? They are allowed to do it. Now, the question is, Scott, is the
by
government...
their company. It's their business decision.
Hold on. But is the government supposed to be punishing people for the speech that they don't like? Is that the role of the government in your mind?
The government is not punishing them. This was not a government decision.
Oh, my
Ultimately,
God.
Disney made a decision. Ultimately,
you see how they do this? This is how they act all the time with everything.
CBS
made
a decision earlier this year. You all are blaming the government.
Scott Jennings knows where his bread is buttered. He's on there to be a troll. He doesn't take this seriously. He's on there to be a little troll and then go to his own little thing he's got.
That's your opinion. That's your opinion about their business motivation.
No one at ABC.
All right, while
They got me on CNN now. Look at me. MAGA on CNN. Can you believe it? Look at me. This was Elon in February.
So, I mean, we're trying to get good things done, but also have a good time doing it, and and have like a sense of humor, So, I mean, the left wanted to make comedy illegal, Like you can't make fun of anything. So there's like comedy sucks. It's like nothing's funny. You can't make fun of anything. It's like legalize comedy. Yeah.
Elon all fucked up. Last Wednesday, a Fox News host says homeless people should be executed. Monday, Jimmy Kimmel makes a joke. Guess which one lost their job? Literally. Holy shit. Elizabeth Warren, first Colbert, now Kimmel. Last minute settlements, secret side deals, multi-billion-dollar mergers pending Donald Trump's approval. Trump silencing free speech stifles our democracy. It sure looks like giant media companies are enabling his authoritarianism. Of course, they helped him get there. Terrorism expert Malcolm Nance, I guess. You cannot designate an idea as a terrorist group. There is no organization called Antifa. There is no leadership. There's no membership. Also, there is no law in America to charge terrorism. Ask Luigi. They're going to change the laws. That's what they'll do. Wow. What do you guys think? This is bad. This is really bad. We're in the bad place. Marco Rubio realizing he now has to become a late night taco show host. Crazy. We're in crazy times. We are in the crazy times. And they're just getting started. Jimmy Kimmel's career just got assassinated. Who is laughing now? Okay, so we can make assassination jokes. Nice. Charlie got the final laugh. The MAGA is the kings and whatever of too soon. Every time it's too soon. Laura Loomer live. It's got a nice ring to it, ABC. Oh my god. You imagine Laura Loomer on ABC? ABC News with Laura Loomer? Probably gonna happen. I've gotten so many calls from people at TPUSA who are livid at Candace Owens. I wouldn't be surprised if she's blocked from attending the memorial on Sunday. So if anything bad happens to Candace Owens, this tweet's gonna get deleted. Clandis. Aura. Really? With his orange face and his not orange neck? Candace is pretending like she doesn't know who Charlie's pastor is. They're like attacking Candace Owens is on some conspiracy shit with the thing. It's fine. Let them eat each other. Gee, the tables turn fast, don't they? Goodbye, Jimmy Kimmel. Good riddance. Poorly aged things. I'm tired, boss. This was Trump in January.
After years and years of illegal and unconstitutional federal efforts to restrict free expression, I will also sign an executive order to immediately stop all government censorship and bring back free speech to America.
Really?
Never again will the immense power of the state be weaponized to persecute political opponents.
Really?
Something I know something about. We will not allow that to happen. It will not happen again. Under my leadership, we will restore fair, equal, and impartial justice under the constitutional rule of law.
My husband, Benny Johnson, made this happen. Fuck around and find out. Nurse Kate. A wellness nurse. Oh, she's a registered nurse. ABC pulls Jimmy Kimmel. Team effort. Let's not ignore the literal millions of others who posted about it, emailed about it, and called ABC and their advertisers about it. There's a team effort. Oh, we know. He's the best of men. Anyways, Benny Johnson. Your husband's gay as fuck. Silly Jimmy Kimmel, he should have just called for all homeless people to be killed and he'd still have a job. Like. In 2016 America, we found how many conservatives would celebrate the death of anyone they considered a political enemy. We saw it with George Floyd. We saw it with Syrians in the Middle East. We saw it with Paul Pelosi and Melissa Hortman. We saw it with Ryan Carson. Trump has gleefully talked about the killing of families and terrorists. Posted out all of a Gaza AI of a Gaza resort and has refused to condemn political violence on his side. Jesus. Using it to grift. Nice. Almost $1 million off that. Yeah, use Charlie for grifting money. Do it. Legalize comedy, free Jimmy Kimmel. Free speech advocates on the right have a lot of heavy lifting to do. Look at him try to control. To my friends on the political right, I understand the feeling that people are putting words into Charlie Kirk's mouth. At some level, I agree and share your frustration. This is the Vice President of the United States. Try to remember, a lot of people love Charlie. It is natural for them to debate his views and legacy. In fact, I think Charlie would welcome that. But for now, let's celebrate our friend, remember his impact, and save the debate for after his funeral. It's so much worse. It's so much worse than 2016 liberal left, whatever, snowflakes. That, oh my god, this is just worse on every level. Still live outside of Jimmy Kimmel's headquarters. That's still live. To support independent media, guys, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel before I get canceled and sent to the gulag. Be a part of the last bastion of free speech in America. See what happens. We either win or we lose. No one's going to do it for us. I think Obama said it really well. Obama said it really well today, or yesterday, whenever this was. Today.
And so when I hear not just our current president, but his aides.
Trump does have AIDS. And gives us AIDS every day with the news, doesn't he?
Who have a history of calling.
Oh, I'm going to get canceled for saying Trump had AIDS. Uh-oh. I'm in the gulag now.
Political opponents, vermin, enemies, who need to be targeted. That speaks to a broader problem that we have right now. And something that we're going to have to grapple with, all of us, whether we're Democrats, Republicans, independents. We have to recognize that on both sides, undoubtedly there are people who are extremists and who say things that are contrary to what I believe are America's core values. But I will say that those extreme views were not in my White House. I wasn't embracing them.
Thank you, Christo, for being a supporter.
I wasn't empowering them. I wasn't putting the weight of the United States government behind extremist views. And that is when we have the weight of the United States government behind extremist views, we've got a problem. And so your original question is, are we at an inflection point? We're at an inflection point in the sense that we always have to fight for our democracy. Mm-hmm. And we have to fight for those values that have made this country the envy of the world. And I often say democracy is not self-executing. It depends on us as citizens, regardless of our political affiliations, to stand up for certain core values, because otherwise we may not have them.
Being honest, it's not self-executing. There's no aura of like it's just there. It's not my job. I mean, it's not. You're not a politician. You don't have to do that. But like, get involved with the other people that are standing against this. If you can't, it's just if you can't, because you have a family or you don't want to lose your job, because that's what MAGA is doing now. So you just help others that are involved. Maybe vomit. ABC yanks Kimmel show indefinitely after remarks about Charlie Kirk suspect. What is that? That's Stephen Miller? Oh. Is it a cock chair or what is it? I don't get it. Apparently nobody in the media remembers when 70 members of Congress signed a letter explicitly calling for the resignation of university presidents for not hating their pro-Palestine students enough. Yeah. I mean, that is still not what we're seeing right now. They signed a letter calling for the resignation. I mean, it's still government pressure, but this is the president of the United States and his whole administration. Every right-wing media apparatus, people that are trying to like both sides of this right now, they're like, brother, beware of those people too. Just beware of them. This is not both sides. What we're doing right now and what they're going to try, like there's going to be people that are perceived leftists that I really just think are tools for MAGA behind the scenes. Like if your focus is not entirely against defeating this, then you're wrong. Introducing Charlie Kirk in his own words.
And I'll tell you one more thing that's on my mind tonight, and conservatives everywhere. The idea that people are saying, well, he was an extremist, or he was a racist, or he was a Nazi, or a misogynist, whatever. Charlie Kirk was a mainstream conservative Republican. He had views that are held by tens of millions of people, including more than half the country in the last election.
If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified.
Here we go.
It begs the question, when you see a black pilot, you wonder, you say, I hope they are qualified. And in the spirit of affirmative action, we have Ramon and Cadillac are your two pilots. They've never flown before, but they are black. If I'm
MAGA will be like, you need more context. What about the context where he says in Jesus' name, amen? What about that part? And he's like white. And he has like a wife and kids and he's white. And we like that. How about that?
dealing with somebody in customer service who's a moronic black woman, is she there because of her excellence, or is she there because of affirmative action? I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. The war on white people continues. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. We are raising a generation of weak people.
None of this is AI, Tony. This is not AI. Is that the new cope? Because Trump said it, that's AI, or are you just like memeing and just saying because that's what Trump said?
Like Simone Biles. LeBron James is a self-interested, narcissistic, and we know he's not very smart. You're representing your nation. You're selfish sociopath. Not very bright, not wise, not somebody of good character. She is a shame to the country. Blacks in America did not have the same rights they had today. Data shows they were actually better in the 1940s. Let's get loud for Kyle Rittenhouse. I'm also going to offer some context and some nuance about the death of George Floyd that no one dares to say out loud, which is that this guy was a scumbag. Remember what BLM stands for? Burn, loot, and murder. Now, does that mean it deserves to die? That's two totally different things. Of course not. Prowling blacks go around for fun to go target white people. That's
Prowling blacks go around to target white people.
the fact. There's no such thing as white privilege or racism. So black people are allowed to talk about black culture in a way that white culture cannot. Black people can go up and say that there's a baby mama problem in black America, and white people are not allowed to say that. Oh, I just did. So what are you gonna do? Cancel me? Black people are allowed to say. Black people are allowed to say. I'm a grown man. I got way black people are allowed. Skin color now gets their own summertime celebration. Oh wow, look how far blacks have come. It has now become a racial complaining day. Thomas Sowell and Justice Clarence Thomas are far better black role models to celebrate than Martin Luther King. This guy is not worthy of a national holiday. There's a mythology around MLK that does not warrant the reverence that he gets treated with in America. We have a federal holiday to a guy that talked about race all the time. Kirk describes King as, quote, a bad guy. It's true. We celebrate the Civil Rights Act more than the American founding. The country made a mistake when it passed the Civil Rights Act.
I wonder why people didn't want to celebrate them and like meme on him. I wonder why. Because this was only every single day of his show every time.
Also true. The Democrats are not lifting a finger to remember the well over 100 people that have died in Texas Hill Country. The death toll likely would not have been as high if it wasn't for DEI.
It wasn't for black people. That's what he's saying, actually.
Ketanji Brown Jackson is what your country looks like on critical race theory. You're going to remove my appendix and you're a black lesbian. Ketanji Brown Jackson is an embodiment of the tyranny that we currently live under. She's an ideological, unintelligent, yet confident fanatic. Why does Kirk believe passing the Civil Rights Act was a mistake? Now, again, apparently they don't listen to the show because
we say that every week.
We do that at least once a week, right? So she wants to be the first ever black woman on the Supreme Court, yet she won't even admit that she's a woman. The transgender your movement is an introductory phase. These doctors need to be put in prison to get you to strip yourself of your humanity. A Nuremberg-style trial to mesh with machines. Interestingly, I think there is an argument to bring back the MRS degree. Reject feminism. Young women need to get married at a younger age and start having kids. Like, don't, like, I'm studying sociology. No, you're not. We know why you're here. Submit to your husband, Taylor. You're not in charge. You will find a husband if you have the intent to find a husband. You got to change your name. If not, you don't really mean it.
Democrat women want to die alone without children.
A lot of them are on birth control too, and birth control like really screws up female brains, by the way.
It's really rich. I didn't know women not to complain 50 years ago. That's funny. We should tell them to stop freezing their eggs and start finding their partner earlier and have lots of babies.
Every single one of you need to make sure that your loved ones are not on birth control.
So materially insane to think that 1 in 5 American women will be raped in their life.
It is, I agree.
No, meaning that they're lying about being raped.
You're comparing abortion to the Holocaust.
Absolutely, I am. In fact, it's worse. It's worse. Because Jewish donors have been the #1 funding mechanism of radical, open border, neoliberal, quasi-Marxist policies. By the way, this is my other problem with death penalty. It takes too long, too many appeals. It should be public. It should be quick. It should be televised.
This is all MAGA, by the way, too. You guys should understand that. Charlie Kirk was, you see how they're acting? This is MAGA. Everything he's saying, this whole 4 minutes and 35 seconds of this bullshit you've heard so far is MAGA. And then they dress it up in a nice little, in Jesus' name, amen for you. To pretend like they're holier than thou. They're fucking terrorists.
Well, at what age should you start to see public execution?
16. I think you could do it earlier. I think you maybe at age 12.
I want to watch that execution. That'll make my day better. A lot. I mean, Joe Biden is a bumbling, dementia-filled, Alzheimer's, corrupt tyrant who should honestly be put in prison and or given the death penalty for his crimes against America. The Democrat Party believes everything that God hates. Like, we're dealing with maggots, vermin, and swine here. These are not good people. They're not even a little bit good. In fact, I know people that went to Haiti passively as like agnostic atheists, and they came back searching for Jesus because they saw like legit demonic activity. Kamala Harris wants to see the elimination of the United States of America. Democrat Party supports everything that God hates. There's not much you can do, folks. You have a government that hates you. You have a traitor as a president. Buy weapons. I keep on saying that. It's top.
Should we take Charlie Kirk's advice?
Republicans reject any link between GOP rhetoric and Paul Pelosi assault. If some amazing patriot out there in San Francisco wants to really be a midterm hero, someone should go and bail this guy out. Native-born Americans, you better buy weapons, everybody. Have a lot of guns at your disposal. I would never leave your home without a weapon.
I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year, so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights.
We actually need looser gun laws because I think that oh yeah, they said we have more guns at the Turning Point HQ than you could imagine. Yeah, if anyone ever tries to come, oh no, imagine the world without Joy Reid. Imagine the world without Sheila Jackson Lee or Michelle Obama or Ketanji Brown Jackson.
I am channeling the emotions of millions of conservatives who are angry. They knew Charlie, they loved Charlie. They view Charlie as a mainstream conservative Republican.
Mainstream. That's their mainstream now. And I mean, actually, you know what? It's true. It is true. The Republicans that don't believe in that are in the absolute minority. It is the minority. The majority believe all that at this point. So in a way, that just should tell you how scary the right wing is now and how far right they actually are. If Charlie Kirk is their mainstream, which he was. And now any of that needs broader context that Charlie was like missing anything. Oh, you took him out of context. Nope. No, we didn't. Home of the brave, J.D. Vance.
Our own government encouraged private companies to silence people who dared to utter what turned out to be an obvious truth.
The sooner we forget the guy, the better off we are. Forget. You can forget Charlie. You're not going to be able to. They're going to use Charlie Kirk as a martyr in ways you don't even understand. They already are. What do you mean you forget about it's going to go away? No. None of this is going away. This is going to get worse. This is all going to get worse, but exponentially. We're just getting started.
So I come here today not just with an observation, but with an offer. And just as the Biden administration seemed desperate to silence people for speaking their minds, so the Trump administration will do precisely the opposite. And I hope that we can work together on that.
And he lied. JK. Just kidding, guys. LOL, just kidding. Oh, boy. Sinclair Broadcasting Group is a racist company run by a MAGA cult members. They worship KKK with reverence. Wow. Oops. Oops, I can't even type. We can deduce by the fact that he won't release it and he won't tell us how many times Donald Trump's name's in the Epstein files. Are you talking about Kash Patel today? At least 13 people have been wounded, 5 critically, in 2 shootings that erupted over a span of 12 hours at a homeless encampment in Minneapolis. Immediately after Brian Kilmeade suggested the government murder homeless last week. Took place right afterwards. Americans are no wiser than the Europeans who saw democracy yield to fascism, Nazism, or communism. Our one advantage is that we might learn from their experience. Yeah, we're not. We're not even. We turned our back to Europe fighting this right now. Oh boy, it's a bad day when you gotta agree with Glenn Green fucking Wald. Oh boy, yuck. I don't care. I'm not agreeing with Glenn. I'll agree with someone else. Yuck. I'll find someone else that can say the same shit, or myself, actually. I don't need anyone else. With Kimmel getting canned, I'm seeing lots of people talking about the hypocrisy of cancel culture to be cancel cultures, and people go out of their way to dig up old tweets, videos, etc., looking for dirt on somebody they don't like in an effort to go get them fired. Okay. Okay. Like if Kimmel got canceled for shit he did on the Man Show, that would be cancel culture. But when a person says something that a ton of people find offensive, rude, dumb in real time, and then that person is punished for it, that's... Holy... What the fuck? Dave Portnoy's a clown. What a fucking loser. Holy shit, bro. Don't be a Charlie jerk about... Shut up. Fuck Charlie Kirk. Jesus Christ, dude. This country is barbecue chicken. Worse. Not even barbecue. Unseasoned chicken. Unseasoned grilled chicken. That's what we're doing right now. Ain't no barbecue involved. Dry, too. Dry ass chicken. Shit, tough to eat. Nice of the admin to let Russian-funded plagiarists participate. Yep. Benny Johnson. I spend more time paying attention to right-wing reactions to current events than I do actual current events. And man, let me tell you, the anti-Semitism is an all-time high. They're blaming everything, and I mean everything, on the Jews. Yeah, and Democrats. Mm-hmm. Only half of them, though. Not all of them. The consequences will continue until behavior improves. We've had enough. Holy. Michael Knowles. Wow. What a virtue. Yes, because we will be in power forever. We will not be in power forever, but we are in power now, and we have a responsibility to wield that power in service of justice and the common good. Get your fucking, oh my god, dude. Baldur's Gate ass. That'd be disrespectful to Baldur's Gate. Get your LARPing ass. Oh, there's nothing I can even compare to it, because everything I'd compare it to is better. Oh my god, dude. This is what they think of themselves, bro. Michael fucking Knowles, who would blow away to a strong gust of wind. Oh my god, bro. Michael Knowles, though, back when the shoe's on the other foot, cancel culture is exclusively leftist for the same reason leftists say racism exclusively white. It requires institutional power. Racism is not exclusively white because white supremacists don't control any institutions. Cancel culture is leftist because the left controls all of them. Oh, do they? Do they now? Wow, did we just learn that isn't true? Oh, wow, did we learn that isn't true in like a short amount of time? And if anything, people are learning how actual right-wing the media is, even more so. Even their favorite left-leaning media is funded by a right-wing billionaire that contributes to the GOP. It's fun. Not fun. At least Skate 4 is out. I'm not getting it.
Staying behind me for the final night of his state visit with the royal family here at Windsor Castle.
Has Trump truthed anything out? Oh boy. Your chair is Antifa. Nope, nothing new beyond Antifa is a terrorist organization and Jimmy Kimmel canceled.
Is celebrating after ABC announced that it is taking Jimmy Kimmel's late night show off the air indefinitely following criticism over comments that he made in the days after Charlie Kirk's murder. The president declared victory basically tonight, writing on Truth Social that this is, quote, great news for America. The ratings challenge Jimmy Kimmel show is canceled. Congratulations to ABC for finally having the courage to do what had to be done. Kimmel has zero talent and worse ratings than even Colbert, if that's possible. That leaves Jimmy and Seth, two total losers on fake news NBC. Their ratings are also horrible. Do it, NBC. Now, before we go any further about the major questions that have been raised by this decision tonight, I want you to listen to Jimmy Kimmel in his own words during his monologue on Monday night.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half-staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. and it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. Okay. He's at the 4th stage of grief, construction. There's demolition, construction.
That was the comment that Jimmy Kimmel made on Monday night. It comes after what he shared in the short aftermath of Kirk's assassination, where Jimmy Kimmel wrote, quote, "Instead of the angry finger pointing, can we just for one day agree that it is horrible and monstrous to shoot another human? On behalf of my family, we send love to the Kirks and to all the children, parents, and innocents who fall victim to senseless gun violence." Now, this decision tonight has raised many questions beyond the actions of an individual company. That's because this announcement comes just hours after we heard from the FCC chairman, Brendan Carr, in an interview where he said that Jimmy Kimmel should be removed over his comments about Charlie Kirk's killing.
You know, when you look at the conduct that has taken place by Jimmy Kimmel, it appears to be some of the sickest conduct possible. As you've indicated, there are, avenues here for the FCC. So there are some ways in which I need to be a little bit careful, because we could be called ultimately to be a judge on some of these claims that come up. Look, there's calls for Kimmel to be fired. I think, you could certainly see a path forward for suspension over this. And again, the FCC is going to have remedies that we could look at.
Like what Jimmy Kimmel said or not, find it tasteful or distasteful, that is the FCC chair saying there, in the wake of that there are remedies that the FCC could look at. One thing that's important to note here as we look at this is how Kimmel's departure from the airwaves has been a goal for President Trump's for quite some time, long before the comments that he made about Charlie Kirk and how Trump was responding to his death. Trump himself has said more than once that he wanted Jimmy Kimmel off the air. On July 29th, this is what he wrote after CBS announced it was canceling Stephen Colbert's late night show. The president said he believed that Jimmy Kimmel would be next. And he said this from the White House just in August.
Colbert has no talent. I mean, I could take anybody here. I could go outside on the beautiful streets and pick up a couple of people that do just as well or better. They get higher ratings than he did. He's got no talent. Fallon has no talent. Kimmel has no talent. They're next. They're going to be going. I hear they're going to be going.
Trump said he heard that they are going to be going. I want to get straight to CNN's chief media analyst, Brian Stelter, and CNN's senior leader.
We saw that clip right earlier. I just want to hear what she had to say at the start. Send this to every Democrat and cable TV host. Just spam it, blast it nonstop. Respond to every argument. Oh, hey, Timmy. Respond to every argument with a 12-year-old clip from a Twitch stream. Absolutely brilliant. Meanwhile, conservatives across the country are frothing at the mouth to weaponize the FCC and every part of the government to destroy the other half. Oh, that $5 million you lovingly accepted from Russia was worth your soul. So Destiny's getting clipped from old times. Burn in hell, Sinclair, alongside Charlie Kirk. Damn. Okay, Keith Olbermann. I'm going to follow you again now. Dang. Like I told you, Charlie Kirk is in a better place now. It's not heaven. If Biden's FCC went after Barstool and someone made this exact argument to you, you wouldn't lose your mind. You would lose your mind. Literally. David Portnoy is a little bitch. The report, you need to be fired for reading this headline about Charlie Kirk. The Onion is back. New York, insisting your fate was sealed the moment you clicked the link. A report released Tuesday found that you will be fired for reading this headline about Charlie Kirk. Shortly after you navigated to this article, your IP address was logged and your supervisor approved the decision to remove you from your position. The report read in part that revealing that the choice had been made after a brief conversation among your superiors in which it was repeatedly emphasized that your behavior in loading this page and spending nearly 2 minutes reading its content about the late Turning Point USA co-founder was an action inappropriate for the moment. Your home address and phone number have been leaked to a large online database that has in turn been shared among activists who want to identify all those who err in their reading choices. There's no use trying to click out of this tab now. Pack up your desk. The damage is done. The report concluded that if you share this article with a friend or family member, you should prepare yourself to be arrested on domestic terrorism charges. Fuck. Damn it. They're coming for me now. No, they probably will, though. Like, just be ready for that, y'all. I mean, someday. We're just being against Trump. So, I mean, that's directly gonna happen. I'm ready. I can sleep on a full twin size bed or smaller. In my gulag cell. I watch Shawshank Redemption. I watch Papillon. Hopefully I can get a tennis ball and I'll pretend I'm Steve McQueen in there. Or get a baseball, not a tennis ball. Baseball. Just overheard a group of school children talking. They didn't even mention Charlie Kirk. Is that the meme? Y'all are gonna unintentionally turn Charlie Kirk into a meme that isn't gonna be. They're gonna be so upset. Oh, he is a meme. He already was a meme prior to this. Shut the fuck up and just admit you love censorship as long as you get to choose who's censored. Oh, Vermin Supreme. Tyler Robinson is right wing. He posted Groiper memes. He engraved Groiper memes on bullets. He dated the guy transitioning. All are true. Link in comment. They act as if, like I said when the news was coming out, as if just because gay or trans, that means you're left wing. Nope, it doesn't. It does not. Trump gonna go after YouTube now and the content creators who we'll see. If it happens, you'll know. You'll know about it. Wow. Absolute disrespect. You didn't see whites doing this for George Floyd vigils. Responding to RT. RT is getting onto it. That's how you know the Russians are involved, by the way, in all of this. Literally. This was MAGA after George Floyd was murdered. Literally. Remember 2020? We all lived through it. The George Floyd challenge. Not the same thing. Oh, it's different. It's different when we do it. We prove we did worse at a vigil. This was literally done outside of the George Floyd vigil. Damn. This was at the vigil? Yeah, they only did it with their massive social media platforms. Wow. Not calling for Wikipedia to be investigated. A huge portion of their editors are Trantifa. We're not doing that, actually. Is Trantifa an actual right-wing thing? Really? Comparing Malcolm X to Charlie Kirk, actually? Wow. I went to a gay bakery in San Francisco and asked them to make me a Charlie Kirk cake. America 2025 colorized. America? I already had ChatGPT cook me up a Caroline Levitt monologue. It's not hard. There we go. America right now. Really?
So, you know, it's funny. I used to say that, hey, if you as a gay person would go to Gaza, they'd throw you off of tall buildings, right? Now they don't have any tall buildings left, so I don't...
That guy's comedy legal? Making jokes, making dark jokes? Huh?
When you mess with the bull, you get the horns.
Is that too soon? I'm sorry. Maybe you shouldn't kill Jews, stupid Muslims.
He's on I like that. I like that.
Where was I?
But we need context. You took him out of context. That's not the Charlie I love. I like Charlie when he talks about Jesus. That's my Charlie. I like Jesus Charlie. I think of him as my Jesus. He died for my sins. Charlie Kirk died for my sins. Trump is God. Charlie Kirk was Jesus. When the fuck was that? Hulu canceled. Listen up, liberal. My feelings are hurt. That's the new one. No more My Wife Left Me. It's this one. Save. That's a good one. Listen up. Who's not watching that? I don't watch ABC anyways. Like I would see Charlie or Jimmy Kimmel on his YouTube channel. So, I mean, I'm not going to watch something I wouldn't have watched anyways. Really tough time for cable news viewers still, I guess. Wow. Very, very not good times, y'all. There you go. I'm the snowflake now. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of all this? Holy. Thank you for staying on point from Sator with a 20. Trump via True Source said they designated Antifa as a major terrorist organization. Facts. Smile said, thank you for being online tonight. Your live streams are one of the few things that I can put on to cover current events. I appreciate that. If you haven't, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. Lots of maggots in the chat. We need a bot, please. I mean, we have our mods. They do the best they can. We had a lot of people tune in. We had 1,000 people tune in a while ago. Don't get them all. Can't get them all. We try to. Tina, thank you for becoming a member. Renee, thank you. Savination with the 10 gifted. Suzanne upgraded the membership to Insider. Holly Hale says, Merc the Goat. Appreciate that. Ohms. Thank you. Sinclair is a conservative broadcast group as well. Eris, you're correct. Seven Angels became a member. Eris 385. John Oliver did a good piece in the Sinclair group. Go look up Sinclair requires anchors to read script bashing fake news 2018, and I also feel I'm in the right place and the right people here. From Buddy. Eris, FCC chair, did an interview on Benny's show about this. Yep, we reacted to it. That's the one, sadly. Thank you, Seven Nation. Tropical Ding Dong. We need to organize a wildcat protest at that time. What's a wildcat protest? Like a wildcat formation? Bettina, thank you for upgrading your membership to Advocate. Protests, POV, thank you for becoming a member. Jenny said, I'm sending you my save money from canceling my Disney, Hulu, and Paramount. Appreciate that. Ronnie, thank you for becoming a member. Brisseni, upgrading. Mandolius, thank you for doing this, Merc. First I've ever heard of it. You'll hear about it all day tomorrow. We'll be talking about it tomorrow, too. And it's going to get worse. Thank you, Suzanne, for being a member for 26 months. So many of us are upgrading our Merc memberships. Way to go. Suzanne gave 5 gifted. Sprinkles is a member for 15 months. Says, if my spawn are Stalin, Napoleon, Putin, Hitler, and Trump, my name would be Death. Mandolius became a member. Red Rabbit, let's send a message on sub from these corps that are silencing free speech and bowing to fascism. Betty Clan upgrading to a membership. Lucinda Walker, a.k.a. Fantastic Finds, gave 5 gifteds. Portable Regulation Studio became a member. Fancy Pants upgraded their membership to contributor. Danny239 said, what is the best way to send you breaking news? Discord. I read that one, my bad. Thank you, Aris. Jean gave 10 gifteds. Eris, absolutely. With the back, didn't get any backlash for saying I want to kill homeless people. Michael Bone became a member. Elise H gave a gifted. Thank you. Bets on how long MSNBC bends the knee. I mean, they're all going to. All of them will. They aren't going to be going after the guys with the white hoods. Nope. Tesla's Taco. Thank you for the super sticker. They didn't care when they joked about Biden as well. Only Trump. What snowflakes they are. From Eris. Shroopy Noopers is a 40-month member. Calling him MAGA isn't unlawful. It's not even immoral. Strictly Cristo become a member. Thank you for being a member again, Cristo. Supporter. Fancy Pants with 2 said leading by example on that gun issue, Chuck. And then Stella B became a supporter. I appreciate all of that. And thank you to everybody that is a Lilith with a 10 bits. I appreciate that. Hype Train, thank you to all my Twitch subs, Facebook. You guys can become subscribers over there too. Just grab the shield and you guys can be supporters over there. There's a subscriber goal. If you guys want to, don't feel obligated. But you can do the same thing on the Facebook and support that way if you don't watch on YouTube or Twitch. All right. But okay, guys, I think that's it. It's about 11 o'clock. I'm ready to go back to my gaming channel now. If any other fascism takes place tonight, you guys can come and find me on Mercado Gaming. I'm gonna go back and probably continue grinding my loot in Arena Breakout. Okay, Arena Breakout Infinite. We were over there for the past 3 hours. Gonna go back and continue on. Okay, guys. Thank you again for watching. Thank you, Raven, for being a 17-month member. Government shutdown, general strike thoughts probably is gonna happen at this point. Have a good night, you guys. Thank you for watching. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Daily streams, and honestly streams whenever breaking news happens when I can. So this isn't a scheduled nightly stream. It could be someday. Or we could be coming back to it again, depending if there's just like news all day long. But make sure you subscribe. Join the Discord server. Link is in the description. If you haven't done so to stay plugged in, you can tag me in news stories. Big community there. Facebook, same thing. Come join us on Discord. It's more important than ever to support the First Amendment and our freedom of speech, and especially independent media, as you guys learn how much the mainstream corporate media is all supported by right wing. Like, there's no actual left wing media, actually. There's left wing talking heads on the right wing funded media, but they're all right wing at the end of the day, and they just proved it today. So make sure you guys support independent journalists, either myself or Dylan Burns or, you know, any of them. Any of the ones that we have seen personally. And like, you guys can pick your favorite YouTubers, but try to find people that actually get out there into the public too, and actually try to report on things. You know, Twitch streamers as well, not just YouTubers, but like anyone that's out there personally on the ground trying to provide news, go support them because they need it. And corporate media will just cuck out to the right wing. All of them will. There's not one right wing media. There's not one corporate news source that is not funded by the right wing. All of them are. CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, obviously, and then obviously there. Okay? That's what you guys need to learn. So I stand with Jimmy Kimmel, obviously, and I stand with free speech. I always have. I mean, when it comes to my own personal community, I've banned people that are absolutely disgusting, and that's fine. That's my personal choice to do. It's not suppressing their speech. Usually they'll go make a new account and continue doing it anyways. It's the government and how the government acts in the United States of America, and we're supposed to have protections for our speech, and the Trump administration is stepping on that, and they're using the power of the government to exert force on corporations to silence people, and that is literally against the First Amendment of the United States. Okay? Have a good night, guys. Hopefully we'll have a better day tomorrow. Hopefully. But if not, come hang out with us on the gaming channel, and we'll get that started here in like 15 minutes. Not even that long of a wait. See you guys then.